What up? What up? Good morning, y'all. No shave November and December for me. So I wanted to go live because I got a crazy ass comment that somebody's apparently just completely confused about what I'm doing in my videos. And I knew I was gonna start getting these comments, from people that, just get offended and ashamed, embarrassed for what's really going on in the community. It's that's the problem, really. Now, I just released a video this morning about school shootings in America that you don't see. Specifically mentioned in the title, school shootings that you didn't hear about in 2021. Now, Dwayne Rose, man, I don't know if you're on. Let me see if I could get you, if I could look at the messages. Live messages. All right. So I need people to start coming in pretty much, but yeah, so it's a comment I just want to address, man, because it's just I knew it was gonna come, this always happens. People get the wrong idea of what's really happening in this country. There's a particular issue going on with shootings, and it's coming out of one community, largely, disproportionately. You know how people like to say that cops kill black people disproportionately? We know that that white people are killed more. There's more white people that are killed by cops, but you don't hear about that. That's why in my latest videos I've been showing you that you hear about Tamir Rice, right? So Tamir Rice is somebody that was a black kid that was shot with a toy gun, with an airsoft pistol. Now, the liberal media would have you think that it's only happening to black people because they're only showing you Tamir Rice. Nobody's ever heard of Peyton Ham. Nobody's ever heard of Alexander King, Antonio Arce. These names don't go viral. So in your mind, and African Americans and most people's mind that just follow, whatever they see on TV, they think that it's only happening to one people, like it's unique to one people. So what I'm trying to do by showing you that no, it happens to other people, it's not whataboutism. Whataboutism is just showing you just one group. It's just focusing on one group. That's cherry picking, actually. I'm not showing you these other groups are also getting killed just to show you, well, what about this? I'm telling you this because people think it's only happening to black people, like it's unique to black people, and it's not. Now, you need to ask yourself, how come you only know about Tamir Rice? Why do you only know the name Tamir Rice when there's other people that have been killed, other kids, teenagers that have been killed with toy guns? And these kids were shot even more. 10 times. Tamir Rice was shot twice. So, just for people that don't understand exactly what I'm doing, it's not trying to take the attention off of black people. Black people have all the attention. Nobody's giving anybody else the attention when it comes to being the victim. Now, when it comes to being the shooters, what's up, Jason Creed? Yeah, so I'm just doing this video because my last video, this recent video that I just dropped, with school shootings, I have a comment by Dwayne Rose. It got blocked or something because maybe YouTube be blocking some comments. First of all, to Dwayne Rose, I hope you watch this video. First of all, the comment that you posted, you edited whatever the hell you put originally, because now it just says, I've heard all of these. What's your point? So this is in response to my video that says 2021 school shootings that you never heard of. Now, Dwayne Rose lying says, I've heard of all of these, LOL, which I know he's lying. What's your point? But he actually edited. He wrote a whole thing that said like that I'm doing the same thing as the liberal media. No, I'm not. The liberal media only shows you Oxford, Dylan Roof, Nicholas Cruz. They only show you the white ones. When this shit happens, as you can see in my video, it happens more with black kids shooting up schools, or sometimes it be the adults shooting up schools. You know, sometimes it'd be somebody that had already graduated or a parent waiting in the damn line or something. Yeah, but they don't show you that. That doesn't go viral. That doesn't go nationwide. And that's my point. It's to show you that this is not unique to just one race. Because the liberal media will have you think white people is the ones always shooting up schools. No, it's not. Now, I want to read this cat's comment. Now, he edited the original comment because he put a whole bunch of stuff and he was getting all crazy. So I'm like, you know what? Let me do a video. I wish I could get this cat on live, and I might get him on one time. But I responded to him, you know, even though he edited. He said, "I've heard of all of these, talking about the shootings," which he's lying. "What's your point?" What do you mean, what's my point? First of all, I went down the list of all the shootings besides the Oxford one. I already mentioned the Oxford one in my last video, where I was talking about the 500 deaths in Philly, and I was talking about the Virginia bar shooting. I mentioned the Oxford school shooting, and if you have my Instagram page, you'll see that I posted the Oxford school shooting like 3 times. I posted that guy. Ethan Crumley is his name. People know Ethan Crumley's name now. He's gone viral. People don't know these other names, these other kids. Timothy Simpkins in Houston. People don't know that name. That one happened like recently, you know. But let me read this comment. First of all, so he said, "I've heard of all of these. What's your point?" My response was, he wrote. Remember, he wrote a bunch of other stuff, and then he edited out. And then I wrote, "If you specifically look for school shootings, then you'll find it." Meaning that, yeah, you supposedly, I don't believe that you heard of all of this, but yeah, if you look for school shootings and you go on the website, then you'll see all the school shootings. That's how you'll hear about it. But if you only follow the liberal media, if you only listen to the news, which is mostly ran by liberals, then all you'll know is just about the Oxford shooting. They barely covered the one in Houston, pretty much. Yeah, the liberal media wants gun control, Jason Creed said. That's what one of my boys was telling me. He's like, man, they want that gun control, but then they're not going to do that, bro. Republicans ain't going to let that happen. The NRA ain't going to let that happen. But I think you might be right about that. Why do my lives go away so fast? Why do my chats go away so fast? See, I want to keep all the chats showing. Damn. I want to see all the comments. But yeah, so so my reply to this cat, Dwayne Rose, man, he's been commenting dumb shit on my videos for a while too. He's always trying to come at me. I could tell. He's always trying to compare me to Republicans, like I'm not even a Republican, first of all. He's just trying to make it seem like it's just Democrats and Republicans. There's such thing as libertarians. There's such thing as independent. So I could tell. He even said I'm not the sharpest tool in the toolbox or whatever. Yeah, I know. And so I said, if you specifically look for school shootings, then you're gonna find it. But these stories don't go national. Stop fronting. Stop fronting, Dwayne Rose. You know these stories don't go national. I want you to comment on here. If you're honest, you don't actually believe that the nation has heard of all these stories. If you go through the video of the school shootings, I went through the whole list of school shootings except for the Oxford one, and I think one in Texas where they didn't find the shooter. But pretty much I listed all of them, and watch when we read his response how stupid it is. And I said, you can check the majority of these, they stay local. And I said, this is not political. These are the facts. Like, I'm not being political with this. I'm showing you everything. What does this have to do with politics, man? I'm showing you the reality of everything while the liberal media just focuses on a specific case constantly. And I'm showing you all of them. Now, I said, I don't know. I said, this is not political. These are the facts. You're getting emotional for no reason. He's getting emotional because he's taking this to heart because he sees, oh, snap, that's my peoples that's doing most of the shootings. So you getting embarrassed. That's what it is. I know what you're doing. You're getting embarrassed. Some of those people were Hispanics. He's saying I'm just showing black people. First of all, I showed all of them, and some of them were Hispanics. Like, what is he upset about right now? Because he sees the obvious that disproportionately this is being done by African Americans. He sees that. So that's the reason why he's upset. And he's like, oh, you pointing it out because it's African Americans. I showed you all the school shootings, and it's disproportionately African Americans. And you're mad? Don't be mad at me. Yo, be mad at the people that's doing it. We need to show this. Yo, it's true, man. KOA, the truth hurts, man. And this is why I had to cut off a lot of people. Cause like it's like people get offended, you know, even like white liberals, they want to handle black people with gloves and shit. I was telling my boy this other day. And he brought a whataboutism or a two wrongs make a who gives a fuck. You know, I was like, yo, they lying about all these cases. They just focusing like on Julius Jones lying about a murderer, saying that he's innocent. They try to get this cat off a damn death. They did get him off death row. Now he's still doing life. But yo, you had Kim Kardashian, you had damn Viola Davis, you had all these people campaigning for a murderer, lying about the evidence. When the evidence you could see is public records, the court documents. And the dude, damn, he shot himself in the foot. He was trying to get clemency, and he lied during the damn clemency hearing. You know, and I was telling this to one of my boys. I'm like, yo, you don't see that they trying to focus on getting murderers out just because they're black. And then he was like, well, they used to always put innocent black people in there, so I don't know. Like, but that's two wrongs make a who gives a fuck is what he's saying. But that's still wrong. Like, what you trying to say? Because they used to lock up innocent black people, we should just release guilty black people today? That shit makes no sense, man. William Crider, that's what you trying to say. You know, I know you're gonna hear this later. But you know, let me keep reading my thing. Yo, that's what they always say, man. Like this is like this is karma and shit. Like, yo, like that don't make it right. We're gonna release murderers today just because they're black, and it's like there's no doubt that Julius Jones is guilty. I might do a video on that cat. It's ridiculous what they did, and the damn shame that they did to the real victim's family. Nobody even knows Paul Howell. That's the real victim, not Julius Jones. He ain't no victim. But yeah, let me keep reading this. So, you know, this is my comment to Dwayne Rose, man. His ridiculous comment, which he edited originally. I don't even remember what he said. He said a bunch of crap. But we're gonna keep reading because he commented again. So I told him this is not political. These are the facts. I showed him a list of all the shootings. I went down the whole year of shootings, where I just missed the one in Oxford, which I already covered. I already covered the one in Oxford in my last video. We spoke about that already. And like I said, I covered that in my Instagram page. I'll be posting all this stuff. I post everything. I post about Nicholas Cruz. I post about all of that. But the problem is that you only know about Nicholas Cruz, or you only know about Ethan Crumley. That's all you see. You only know about Dylan Roof. You didn't know that there was a response to Dylan Roof where it was a black guy named Emmanuel Sampson who shot up a white church. You don't know about that, do you? You know about Dylan Roof. But you never heard of Emmanuel Sampson? He shot like 9 people. Or he was trying to kill. But you know, these motherfuckers can't aim, man. And then William Crider was telling me, he's like, well, it's not a mass shooting like this one. Yeah, because these motherfuckers can't aim. That's why. They be shooting like crazy all over the goddamn place. Man, yeah, you never heard of Emmanuel Sampson? Look up Emmanuel Sampson. He was an African guy. He was literally from Africa. And he shot up a church, a white church, in response to Dylan Roof. People don't know that. They only know about Dylan Roof. And then they be lying like, oh, they took him to Burger King. Yo, that's another lie that goes around. They did not take Dylan Roof to Burger King. They brought him Burger King during the interrogation. That's an interrogation technique to get them to confess. You get them on your good side. They constantly do that. Like, people be lying. They be complaining. Oh, they took him to Burger King. Like, what? How come all these lies constantly pop up when it's dealing with like these racial cases or whatever? Some damn misinformation in the black community constantly. Like William Crider, bro, you was telling me Kyle Rittenhouse crossed state lines with a gun. Like, no, he didn't. Like, where are you getting your facts from? This is why it's a problem that you only getting your information from liberal media, because they lie. They don't care about the truth. They want to vilify somebody, so they'll put out whatever, or they probably won't do it on purpose. I think they're doing it on purpose, but what I think is that they're just so quick to vilify somebody, and they have such a strong bias that they're quick to just take any information that makes that enemy sound bad, and they just run with it, bro. But that's a whole nother topic. Let's continue on this Dwayne Rose comment on my last video here with the shootings. So I'm telling him this is not political. These are the facts. You're getting emotional for no reason. I don't know why you're mad that I post these stories, being that it doesn't get national news coverage. It's crazy to me that you're mad that I'm going down the list of 2021 school shootings as if I doctored these stories. You're mad at reality. You always make the same comment, two sides, blah, blah, blah. What two sides? I told him. But yeah, this cat, he's always saying that. He's like, yo, you're just doing this in reverse. He thinks that I'm doing what the liberal media is doing, but I'm doing it in reverse. No, I'm showing you everything. I just went down the whole list of school shootings. Like, what the fuck? And he's like, bro, this is his response. This is the one right here. I was like, you got to come live because you're completely confused. He's completely mischaracterizing what I'm doing. He says, bro, do you honestly think that I'm dumb, that I'm that dumb? Bro, I don't know, man. I don't know you that well, but based on some of your responses and your comments, you don't sound too bright. You sound like you're getting a complete misconception of what's really happening. Like, did you not watch the video where I went through all the school shootings of 2021 and there were a few that were Hispanic? And just because I didn't put the one in Oxford in that video, the title of the video is School Shootings in 2021 that you didn't hear of, that you never heard of. And he's like, yeah, I heard of it. You didn't hear about that shit. Stop lying. He said, bro, do you honestly think that I'm dumb? I know I'm not the smartest guy, but it really hurts my feelings that you would insult what little bit of intelligence I had like this, man. I think he's got to be a troll or something. Like, this cat reminds me of my cousin. Like, he's got to be a troll. Maybe I misread what you said. Correct me if I'm wrong, but to me, it looked like you just lied about saying I'm going down the list of 2021 school shootings. Yes, I went down the list of 2021 school shootings. That's literally what I did in my last video. Then he says, how are you going down a list of school shootings when you didn't even list the most recent one in Michigan? LOL. The title of the video is School Shootings That You Never Heard Of. I went to the Oxford one in my last video. I already spoke about that cat, Ethan Crumley. Like, what are you so confused about? So I literally went down the whole list and left out one. There you go. By the way, San Miguel, as you mentioned that there is more. Man, why these comments disappear so fast? Abu, my bad. Good to see you, Abu. Let me read your comment. How do you keep these comments up? Like, it just goes away too fast. By the way, San Miguel, as you mentioned that there's more information on your Instagram page. Can you share your Instagram handle? Yeah, it's SanMig_. That's it. SanMig_. All together, no spaces. Yeah, I put a lot of like news reports and videos, like just like, shootings, things that are happening that doesn't go national. And people are mad that I'm posting videos of things that don't go national, that should go national, so you can realize there's a problem. There's a problem going on in Philadelphia right now. Let me read some of these comments and I'll go back to what I'm doing here. DTX speaks. I remember back in 2016, there was a black nationalist named Micah Johnson. Yes, I was just reading about him. Who tried to shoot up a BLM protest. He was a viewer of Sonetter. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. And he's just like Gavin Long. You heard of Gavin Long too? Gavin Long and what's his name? Micah Johnson. Psh, bro, they shot cops. And Gavin Long was a Young Turks fan. He did response videos for the Young Turks. And what does the Young Turks do? They constantly shitting on cops, constantly showing videos of cops doing this and doing that. And they give misinformation sometimes. Like sometimes the cops are in the right. Like sometimes these cops are just doing their job. and you got somebody with a knife or somebody resisting arrest, like Rayshard Brooks or Jacob Blake, like the cops were in the right in those cases. And then what does the Young Turks do? They vilify them, and then they make people like Gavin Long and Micah Johnson hate the cops and think that we need to go do something. We need to attack the cops. This is what's going on. This is what the liberal media is doing. So my response is to try to show you that this is not unique to just black people. White people get shot with toy guns. It was a white guy that got shot. I just posted on my Instagram that he was on a wheelchair and he had a knife, right? And he was going all throughout the parking lot in Walmart and he had just stole like a toolbox or something. And the cops were chasing him. And as soon as he was about to get back into the Walmart, they just straight lit him up. And that, I don't think that was warranted. And, the guy's in a wheelchair. Yeah, he had a knife, but he wasn't really that close to anybody. And there were other options. In that case, you're in a wheelchair, and the guy was white. And I posted, if this guy was black, I forgot how I worded it, but pretty much if he was black, there would have been riots. People would have knew about him. Nobody even posted that. Like, it didn't go viral. I saw some people posting it when I started looking for it, and I was like, okay, people are talking about it because it's just so crazy. It's a guy in a wheelchair that got shot up by cops. I really never seen anything like that. And in my head, right away, I said, yo, if this guy was black, the world would have went crazy. The world would have went crazy if that guy was black. Because that would have went viral, and then people would have been like, damn, again, you see? Because all you see that the media is showing you is that this is only happening to black people, when it's not. So I show other videos to show you it's not just black people. Y'all need to relax. Y'all not that special. Like, it happens to all of us. We all get fucked. White, black, Middle Eastern, Hispanic, we all get fucked by cops. But like I said, a lot of these, the majority of these, they're justifiable. So yeah, DTX speaks. Thank you for telling me about that. You also get black supremacists on the internet who spread false info, like Dylan Roof, Burger King story, like Carlito Way, the guy who makes the cartoons. Signed out. Yeah, man, that Burger King, that thing was crazy, man. And I'm like, where y'all get this information from? Like, you see how misinformation just travels throughout, like, the internet? And because people already have a narrative, they don't care about verifying it. They just go with it because it confirms their narrative already. The narrative is already proven to them. They believe a narrative. That's why it's really dangerous for you to believe a narrative. And even though I'm showing you cases where it's disproportionately black people shooting shit up, that doesn't mean that I'm saying, oh, all black people are this. Because that's another thing people are saying. Are you saying all black people are evil or whatever the fuck? It's like, no, man. Like, shut the hell up. People are dumb. And we got Abu on here, KOA. DTX says, you even get these washed up rappers that jump on the black supremacist wave. Yeah, man. David Banner. Who's the cat in, who I actually like from the, Run the Jewels? What's his name? Mike something? He's actually pretty dope, but he's smart, man. But it's like, you see how misguided they are. Like, they be on that critical race theory. Like, they blame everything on white people. Like, they blame the crack epidemic where they were locking up black people. They blame that on the justice system. It's like, but weren't y'all the ones using the drugs and buying it? Who was telling you to buy the drugs? Like, they blame that shit on, like, there's no agency. There's no responsibility. And this comment right here by Dwayne Bro, it personifies exactly the problem with the black community. We try to show you, like, this is a problem. We need to address this. And then this guy goes completely off the rails, left field, talking about some other stuff. Let me finish this comment. I'm going to get back to these comments. Y'all could keep on commenting. I see Soldier 144 was good. Abu, man, I literally watched the video of the guy in the wheelchair on your Instagram page. Yeah, man, that's hard to watch, man. And I'm not doing it to belittle or for mockery, because people are like, oh, you're making mockery. And I'm like, I'm not making I'm stating the truth. If this guy was white, it would have been a riot. I mean, if that guy was black, it would have been riots. K-Dub True. Responsibility is white supremacy, apparently. Yeah, man. You know, and there's like white people predominantly are affected by meth laws. They get arrested more for meth. Is that racist? Like it's like 65%, and the Hispanics love meth too. Mexicans and shit, they be doing meth. Every race has a drug of choice, and you're gonna see that certain races get locked up more for certain things. That doesn't mean that they're just because you see a disparity doesn't mean that there's discrimination. Yeah, ever heard that? I love that saying. Just because you see a disparity doesn't mean that there's discrimination, right? The majority of nurses are women. Does that mean that the nurse programs are sexist? No. I'll say this, bro. I'm starting to see a trend. I see more atheists standing against CRT than Christian. Wow, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. CRT is taking over the churches, man. I see it. I don't know, man. I see a lot of atheists that are like you can't even talk to them. They're completely caught up in that whole, the because they're liberal. That's how I was. I was like a Bernie supporter, and then I started listening to like his running mate Nina Turner, and I'm like, this woman's crazy. And then I started realizing a lot of things. It was like slowly, after every little shooting, I was like, wait, this is wrong. But after the George Floyd thing, I was like, man, people gone crazy, man. Not to say it was justified, but still, the reaction was crazy. You had what's her name, man? BLM talking about, I don't give a damn if they burn down Target. Yeah, man, you got the washed up rappers like this brother said. Or you got the washed up comedians like DL Hewley, man. This is all he's on now. He's a damn activist now. If you watch his page is horrible. They'll put a side by side of Tamir Rice and Kyle Rittenhouse. Like, what? Like, first of all, Tamir Rice, we already know what happened there. We should compare Tamir Rice with what's his name? Alexander King, or the other guy that got shot there. I forgot his name now. Peyton Ham. That's the comparison. That's the equivalence. Now you're doing a false equivalence of Kyle Rittenhouse next to next to Tamir Rice. It's like this is two completely different like cases in two states and in like two different circumstances. It's like it's crazy. The crack epidemic. Some of this was by design, bro. But in 2021, black people have to take accountability for the culture. Yeah, the crack thing wasn't by design. The crack thing, what was happening is that crack cocaine is more accessible, and it was more in circulation than powdered cocaine. So what they did was try to set laws and make it harder and give it more. Give you more time, because it was just like when you started seeing with the gun laws. They started coming down on the gun laws for handguns before the assault rifles. There was more regulation on handguns. Why? Because it's smaller, it's easier to get, it's easier to hide. It's the same thing with crack cocaine. It was easier to get, it leaves your system faster, so people binge on it more because they go and get it quicker. Crack cocaine or powdered cocaine stays in your system longer. So they was trying to offset the what do you call it, the influx and that big flow of the crack cocaine, because it was cheaper, and that's why they gave them a higher sentence. The sentencing in meth and crack cocaine is about the same, and the meth arrests affect white people more disproportionately, and people don't say that that's racist. You got to take accountability for the people that was doing the crack cocaine, people that was doing and slinging that shit in the hood. You have to take accountability. Now, should we lock up people for more than 10 years for drugs? I don't think so. I'm not saying that. So I'm not in agreement with what they were doing with the laws, but what I'm saying is that it wasn't specifically targeting a race of people like people like to say. It wasn't. There's certain laws or there's certain drugs that certain races just gravitate towards. So that's all I was saying, Soldier 141. These things weren't by design. How would they know the outcome? They don't know the future. How would we have the stats today? So we can look in hindsight and say, damn, that was wrong. They wouldn't have those stats back then. That doesn't make sense with people that always try to make that argument. You know, and you'll find tons of articles, New York Times, Washington Post, that the crack cocaine laws were racist. Like, how could it be racist? These are laws that don't target black people specifically. There's no law that target any race of people specifically. But what they did during that time, during the 80s, they raised the sentencing, the time that you get for crack cocaine, because it was more of it. It was like, more in circulation, and people got it quicker, and people would buy it constantly because, like I said, it leaves your system like in 15 minutes or something like that. And with powdered cocaine, it takes like 30 to 45 minutes. So naturally, people are gonna keep buying the what you call it, the crack cocaine or whatever. The CIA and FBI put crack cocaine, meth, heroin, PCP on the community, not just the black community. I mean, I wouldn't say they put it in there, but they definitely were allowing that shit to go in through the borders during that whole what do you call it? That whole shit with Noriega, Manuel. After they took down Noriega, they had agents out there that were aware that there were people coming in from Central America and Mexico, coming in and bringing drugs, and they knew that they were coming in, but because they didn't want to give themselves up and blow their position, as undercover, they allowed them to do that for the bigger picture. And there were people like Freeway Rick Ross, right, who was directly buying from these cartels, and he was the one that was flooding the shit. People like him was the one flooding the shit. CIA and FBI didn't do any of the bringing it in. What they did was stand back and watch them and let them bring it in. That's what they did. People always get that confused. I'll be right back. Yeah. But yeah, we got a little sidetracked, man. Um, they were making money. There was a movie. I gotta learn more about that KOA. I'm gonna learn more about that. But I mean, from the studying that I did, there was a reporter in Cali that works for some low. There was a movie that was done. I forget who was the actor in it. It was based on a true story. And man, that one actor that played Nucky Thompson in Boardwalk Empire, the one that just died, the black actor, he was in it and he played Freeway Rick Ross. But man, I forget the name of it. The main actor, man, what's his name? He's one of them Avenger guys too. He's the one with the arrow. He was the main guy. He played the reporter. It's a true story. And the reporter found out what was happening with the CIA, and I gotta find it. I'm not gonna. Actually, I can actually look it up right now, real quick. Movie. The guy's name was something Gray, I believe. Movie on reporter that exposed CIA. He ended up dead. Kill the Messenger. Psh, great movie. Kill the Messenger with Jeremy Renner. There you go. Great movie. Based on a true story. Gary Webb. There you go. That was the name of the reporter. The name of the reporter was actually Gary Webb. And yeah, man, he was uncovering certain things from the CIA where they were CIA. It says the CIA was well aware of dealers who were smuggling cocaine into the US and using the profits to arm Nicaraguan rebels. Despite warnings to halt this investigation, Webb keeps digging and uncovers a conspiracy. That shit is real. That shit is real. So yeah, I'm gonna look more into that. But I'm gonna go back to the reason why I started this live, man. Where is Dwayne Rose? I thought he was gonna come on here. No, not Chadwick Boseman. The one that died. Where's the cast? Usually the cast comes right up. It's the one that played Nucky Thompson on Boardwalk Empire, the black guy. He's one of my favorite actors, man. He's great. Where the hell's the cast? Kill the Messenger cast. Yeah, wait, Omar? Yeah, the one I play Omar too. Yeah, yeah. He played Rick Ross in that movie. Andy Garcia's in there. Oliver Platt is in there. Michael K. Williams, that's his name. He played Rick Ross. He didn't have that many scenes, but he was in there. It's got a great cast, man. Paz Vega, man. Ray Liotta's in it. Barry Pepper. It's a great movie, and it's like I said, it's based on a true story, and it's based on exactly what we're talking about with the CIA. You know, where they were allowing shit to happen. So when people say this, see that's how misinformation happens, right? It's like that, you know, what's that game? The game of telephone, right? You hear it and it keeps going, and then it turns into one thing. It wasn't so much that the CIA was putting it in the black community; it was that they were allowing that shit to come in through the borders. You know, But yeah, I mean, it says that they were actually getting money from that though. So, you know, CIA ain't as clean as people say it is. I ain't trying to defend everything about this country. I love this country, but there's a lot of effed up things in this country. But but it's a great country, man. The only thing is we got 3 times more guns than we do people. We got like 9 billion guns in circulation. If y'all don't know that, there's about 3 billion people in this country. You know, so the cops got to deal with a lot of shit, man. You know, people hate the cops and shit. They got to deal with a lot of bullshit, bro. Which country isn't a little effed up though? Yeah, man. I mean, listen, I would rather live in this country than in Mexico. I would rather live here than Dominican Republic where my family is right now. I'd rather be here than in a lot of countries. But I gained a lot more love for this country after I started really waking up and just dropping this whole. It's the liberals, man. It's these progressives. They always want to blame America for everything, man. Babylon the Great. Yeah, Babylon the Great. I mean, listen, it's better than Israel was, man. In Israel, man, you had King David doing all types of crazy stuff. You had the nation of Israel fighting the Benjamites and stuff. You had the left-handed Benjamites. What did they do? Didn't they do some damn homosexual stuff too? Listen, man, I'd rather be right here than in damn Bronze Age Israel. But let me continue reading this guy's comment. Because this is the reason why I came on, man. Where you at, Dwayne Rose? Where are you at? I'm waiting on you because I did this live because of you. So let me read his comment. So again, this is under the video that I just posted early this morning, where I did a whole video of all the shootings in 2021 that you'd never heard of. Now, I didn't put the Oxford shooting in there because that's the one that's getting all the recognition. You already heard about that. And I already posted about that in my last video. I already spoke about that. I'm going to come here one day and talk about the new country of Israel we're trying to build. Good luck with that, man, because they kicking out black Hebrew Israelites from the land of Israel right now. Them cats that came over there to Dimona, they deporting some of them, like 50 of them. I don't. They might send more of them out there. It's not a good look. It's not a good look for them what they're doing. Even though I don't agree that black people are the real Israelites, African Americans. Once they're there, are you gonna just kick them out like that? I don't know. They got to renew their visa. I don't know what it is. But talking about ICGJC experience. Let me see. DTX. Have you seen all these cartel execution and torture snuffs that come out of Mexico, Central America, and the Caribbean? I like to have liberals sit down and watch those the next time they cry. Listen, man. I don't agree with liberals on virtually anything, man. I don't know what the hell I was thinking a few years ago. But, I mean, let me read this comment here on my last video. So this guy says, bro, do you think, I already read some of it, but let's keep going. Let's read it again. Bro, do you honestly think that I'm that dumb? I know that I'm not the smartest guy, but it really hurts my feelings that you would insult what little bit of intelligence I had like this, man. Maybe I misread what you said. Correct me if I'm wrong. But to me, it looked like you just lied saying, I'm going down the list of all 2020 school shootings. LOL. How are you going down the list of all the shootings when you didn't list the most recent one in Michigan? LOL. So, of course, he didn't know. He says that he knows about all these shootings, the school shootings, which he's lying because the most recent one was actually, well, it was the same day as the one in Michigan. There was a school shooting in Humboldt. I forget what city that was in, Tennessee or state, Tennessee. Yeah, I forgot. Humboldt something, Humboldt High School. Look that up. Well, watch my video. I literally put all of them. So he's mad that I didn't put the one Oxford shooting. Like, the video title is school shootings that you didn't hear about in 2021. I already covered it, like I said, in my last videos, and you can go on my Instagram page, and I spoke all about Ethan Crumbley. Well, I didn't speak about it, but I posted about him. And I've never got more views on any video that I've ever done, that I've ever posted on Instagram, than the one that I posted about Ethan Crumbley. So white people are getting all the attention. White school shootings are getting all the attention. And I post a video. I used the same hashtags that I used for that video. I put it on the other videos that I had, the school shootings or the mass shootings, the homicides in Philly. And then that started getting attention. So I was like, oh, okay. You see, people are looking for certain type of things. When it's a black person, not interesting. Happens all the time. Was a white kid? Whoa, here we go. Let's shit on the white man. It's that racial dynamic. People were mad. People are crazy. They were mad that they were posting a younger picture of Ethan Crumbley. I keep getting distracted from the comment, whatever. And then they were in the video. You could see a comment where it got like 20 likes. Somebody said, "Why are you talking about Detroit in this video?" to the newscaster, because they said Oxford is 30 miles north of Detroit. And people were mad because they were like, stop throwing Detroit's name in there. Like, listen, Detroit has nothing to save. Detroit's name has already been tarnished. People were saying, don't throw Detroit in there. This got nothing to do with Detroit. All they said was that Oxford is 30 miles north of Detroit. Nobody knows where the hell Oxford is. People know where Detroit is. So, like, people are so crazy, man. Everything is racial. It's like, what the fuck? They want to make it racial until they don't want to make it racial, until we start pointing shit out like this. Let's keep reading this cat's comment, man. This guy's ridiculous. Excuse me, man. I'm a little sick. Yeah, and I'm doing a no shave November and December, for those that want to know. So it says, yeah, so he's saying, because he's quoting me where I said, I'm going down the list of all 2021 shootings. He said, how are you going down the list of shootings when you didn't even post the most recent one in Michigan? We already explained that. I mean, it's pretty obvious to see what you're doing, bro. I know I'm not the sharpest tool in the toolbox, but come on, guy. It don't take a rocket scientist to see the kind of propaganda that you're pushing, my guy. All it is a reverse Democrat liberal agenda mixed with some good old-fashioned whataboutisms. You going through all of that to push your agenda, but yet you say I'm the emotional one. Obviously, you should have seen his long-ass comment that he posted. The first comment before he edited it, he was really emotional behind it. Behind just watching the video of all the school shootings except the one in Oxford. And he's saying that I have an agenda. I'm showing him all the school shootings that's happening. And because he sees that the majority of those shootings are coming from the black community, he thinks that I'm pushing an agenda. Look how messed up people are in the head when I'm showing you all the shootings. So he's actually picking up that, oh shit, it's mostly black people that are doing it. But he thinks that I'm just zooming in and just showing that. But I showed you all of them. And if you watch that video, there were two of them that was, well, one of them that was caught, at least one of them that they showed, was a Hispanic kid, Juan Salcedo. He shot up Washington Middle School. He was a middle school kid. He killed one kid. He's 13 years old. So I'm not just talking about black people. Juan Salcedo was a 13-year-old Hispanic kid. He looked Mexican. It was in New Mexico, Albuquerque, I believe. And then there was one in a school called Cesar Chavez School. I'm sure that was a Hispanic kid. They didn't give a name. They didn't show the face in that one. I'm sure that was probably a Hispanic kid. That area is predominantly Hispanic. So this guy thinks that I'm pushing propaganda because I'm trying to show that there's an issue. First of all, I showed all the school shootings except for the one in Oxford. And there was another one in Texas that I didn't show because they didn't catch the shooter. And I didn't really see that many videos. Like, they weren't really talking about that too much. It was in Rigby, Texas. I'm talking about it now if you want to look that one up. But other than that, it's like I posted maybe like 12 shootings, and I think 10 of them were black. Like, there's only 13% black people in this country. And out of all the school shootings, you have about 80%, 70% are black. There's a fucking problem here. And you don't want to focus on that problem. You want to ignore the problem. And you say that this is the reverse of what the liberal media is doing? Yes, it's the reverse. It's actually showing you the reality of things. The liberal media is showing you this something that's not reality. This is not real. It's giving you a misconception of what's really going on, right? If you're just showing mass shootings done by white people when it's predominantly done by black people, mass shootings, for those that don't know, because you would think, oh, white people always doing mass shootings. No. Black people do more mass shootings. They just don't kill as many people because they aim like crazy. They spraying bullets everywhere. So it'd be like 13 people hit and 2 people died. That's how it usually be. And white people just kill more. Like Nicholas Cruz killed like 17 people. So it stands out more to you, and you're like, holy shit. But that happens when it's a white person. That shit, because Nicholas Cruz, I know he sounds Hispanic. He was white. I know that it's more dramatic and it stands out more. But it doesn't happen as often. And you can see by going down the list of the video that I just posted of all the 2021 school shootings. You can see that about 80% of them are coming from African Americans. So the reason why I want to show that is because it's a problem that people are not focused on. If you don't focus on it and address the problem, it's going to keep on happening. Do you want this to keep on happening, Dwayne Rose? Do you want little black kids to keep getting shot? Because black people are the victim in this. It's not that I'm just showing the suspect. Guess what? There's victims behind this that I care about. And they happen to be black most of the time. So, like, you're just focused on the suspect. But what about the victims, man? You think I'll just care about the suspect? Backwards as hell. He says, it's hilarious how you don't see how much of a hypocrite you are. He's calling me a hypocrite because I'm showing him the reality of the school shootings. The reality of the racial dynamics of school shootings. I'm showing you everything. It's because reality makes people uncomfortable. That's right, Mike Stevens. Good morning. Man, it's really sad what's happening. The state that African American community is in, it's fucking really sad. And I don't give a fuck anymore. That's why I know I'm going to ruffle up some feathers, but I'm going to keep doing these videos, Dwayne Rose. I don't care how much uncomfortable, how uncomfortable it makes you feel. Because it needs to be addressed. This is not being addressed because I want to make a mockery or I want to just, oh, look at black people, look how evil they are. No, it's because it's a problem. And if you don't point it out and shine a light on it, you're not going to think that it's a problem. You're going to go about your day and think that, oh, nothing's happening. No, this needs to be addressed, man. Like, why are you mad? I'm a hypocrite because I'm critiquing the liberal media because they only show people like, they only stress victims like Tamir Rice, who everybody knows. If you think about, all you got to say to somebody is, name a black, not a black kid, name a kid or a teen that was shot. You could say a kid or a teen that was shot by cops with a toy gun. You're only going to think of Tamir Rice, right? For people in the live, hit 1 if you only think of Tamir Rice. I mean, some of y'all probably smart up in here, but, you know, Peyton Ham, Alexander King, Antonio Arce. How come you don't know those names? Dwayne Rose. You know that the majority of people don't know those names. They only know Tamir Rice. So that's what the liberal media is doing. In a video that I just did recently, I spoke about Tamir Rice, and then I spoke about Peyton Ham, and I spoke about Alexander King, which happened recently in Florida, in Coral Gables, I believe. Not Coral Gables, in Tarpon Springs, Florida, about 2 hours from me, maybe an hour and a half west. It's near Tampa, pretty much. You know, the kid had an AR style looking airsoft pistol. It's just like Tamir Rice. So how am I a hypocrite? How am I just like the liberal media when I'm showing you that no, it doesn't just happen to black people? I'm showing you the reality of it. The liberal media just shows you, look what they're doing to black people. And then you get the impression and the perception that, damn, man, we being oppressed. F the police. F the system. And then now you get discouraged in this country and you don't want to participate in anything. And there's no trust. There's no trust with the cops. And that goes back and forth now. Now you're going to start disrespecting the cops. The cops are going to start disrespecting you. The cycle goes on. What do you think happens to the majority of these people? They already have this perception about police that, oh, this cop, he probably thinks this and that. He's trying to do this and that. You ever watch this Chris Rock skit where he said how to talk to cops? He did a skit, how to deal with cops. He's like, if you do these things, most likely you will not be fucked up by the cops. You know, and he showed all these examples. Keep your hands on the wheel. Say, yes, sir. Don't have your music all loud. Don't be disrespectful saying, what the hell you want? Don't act like that. Like Sandra Bland. Everybody complains about, oh, poor Sandra Bland. Yo, she was so disrespectful, man. Like, she was acting like a straight ratchet hood rat, man. Like, I hate what happened to her, but I think she committed suicide in the jail cell. Everybody talks about Sandra Bland. I just watched the video earlier. That traffic stop, I've seen so many times where African Americans turn a regular traffic stop into an arrest. It's like, yo, just relax. Stop catching an attitude. You know, now you got sovereign citizens thinking like you could just, I don't have to step out of the car. I don't have to do nothing. Like, yes, you do have to step out of the car. Maybe you don't have to put out your cigarette, but just put it out. Just respect the fucking cop. You want to turn this into a whole other thing. That Sandra Bland thing, all she had to do was not give an attitude. And just respond politely and just shut the fuck up, man. Jesus Christ, yo. It's like sometimes I hear these fucking traffic stops, these people like responding like they talking like they talk to their man at home or something, man. Like, Jesus Christ. There was one girl in Orlando that got pulled over. I saw a video. It was right here in Orlando, man. She had black tinted windows. And the cop stopped her. And she had the nerve to say, it was because I'm black. She made a whole big deal out of the stop, saying that it's because I'm black. The cop was like, ma'am, you got dark tinted windows. I can't see in here. And she's like, it's because I'm black. And I'm like, holy crap. I can see that your windows are dark. I think the cop ended up giving her a ticket for dark tints, which he wasn't even going to do. It was just a regular traffic stop. She ran like a red light or something. But she rolled through a red light and turned that into a whole big deal. There was another one where it was an accident where the lady blew through a yield sign. She didn't yield, got into an accident, and it was a black lady that caused the accident because she didn't yield. And the other lady, I think, was like Hispanic, and the Hispanic lady car got destroyed. And the black lady was talking about, no, I didn't do nothing wrong. It's because I'm black. It's because I'm black. Why are you not giving her the ticket? And the cop, it's all on video because the cop was right behind her. And the cop was like, ma'am, I show you the video right now. The video shows you that you blew through the yield sign. And she said, well, this person didn't yield. And, you know, it's clearly the other person didn't have the yield sign. Crazy shit like that. I watch this all the time. I watch this stuff all the time. And there's videos that you can find. Walter Scott was the guy that got shot in the back by cops. That's obviously wrong. The cop got charged and arrested. The cop got mad time. Jimmy Jordan was good. I think the cop got 25 years, and he planted a gun on him too. You know, it was a Dominican guy that recorded the whole thing. I actually spoke to that Dominican guy. I sent him a message on Facebook when it happened. He recorded that, Walter Scott. That was wrong. The cop got charged. See, there's times when the cops are in the wrong and they get charged. David Chauvin, charged. Like, come on, man. They were rioting before, like, they wouldn't even give a due process. Like, this is the mob mentality, right? Mob justice. But back to this comment, man, Dwayne Rose. Like, yo, he said, so he's calling me a hypocrite because he thinks I'm doing what the liberal media is doing. Biased propaganda. How is this bias, right? Watch the last video I did with the school shootings in 2021. I'm showing all the school shootings where there's even Hispanics in some of them. And some of them you don't even know who the suspect is. Megadardignan. Megadardignan. I always say your name wrong. It's good. So, I mean, this guy, I'm doing this video based on this damn comment by Dwayne Rose. He's calling me a hypocrite because I'm posting videos that show that the majority of people that do school shootings are black. And he's mad at that because he thinks that I'm being biased. But I'm showing him all the school shootings for the year. The only one that I missed was the one in Oxford and the one in Texas. I missed two of them. So what? It still shows you it still shows you who's predominantly doing these shootings. It still shows you that. And he sees that and he thinks that I'm doing that on purpose when I'm just showing him the reality of things. I'm being biased. But it's the reality. How am I doing the reverse of the liberal media? I'm doing even better than that. I'm doing more work than the liberal media. I had to actually go out and look up all these cases. This shit was not easy. I had to look up all these cases. It was like 12 to 15 school shootings. Crazy. Some of them were adults shooting up schools in the parking lot or whatever. It'd be like damn stupid ass arguments. I think it was like 2 adults in some of those cases. But there were some cases that I didn't even put up because they never found the suspect. And you couldn't get that many like videos. I could only get like a news report. I couldn't get a video, which I wanted to post. But so this guy's calling me a hypocrite, man. Where you at, Dwayne Rose? I needed you to be on here, man. I wanted to address this cat. So he's saying that you do all this talk about how the liberal media is biased propaganda and only paints a bad light on certain group, but yet you literally do the exact same thing that you constantly whine about, just in reverse. That's because the reality of things is that there is one group that's doing that in reverse, that needs to get the light shined on them. And the liberal media is showing you the incorrect perspective. They're making you think it's one way when it's actually the other way, the way that I'm showing you. Like 54% of homicides in this country, look this up, 54%. I thought it was 52. It's gone up a little bit in the past years. 54% of homicides committed in this country are committed by 13% of the population. And you think that we don't need to talk about that? You think that that's not predominantly coming from one people? That's not a lie. But when you have the liberal media not showing you that, because there's videos, man, there was a mass shooting in Dallas where it was 2 suspects and one of them was 17 years old. Look this up. And they didn't want to put the race or the picture of the guy and or the description. And you know what the news media said? They said, "We don't want to perpetuate a negative stereotype." That's what the news media said. And when you come to find out, the kid was black. He shot 13 people. He only killed like 1 person. Shooting like crazy. How you only kill 1 person? You shot 13 people. I mean, I'm glad that not that many people died, but it's like, damn. Like, just crazy shooting. Like, what is this? But the point is, the media was showing you what they're doing. They don't want to perpetuate a negative stereotype. Like, what? Like, that's crazy to me. They don't want to tell you the reality of things because people are going to get a negative perception. Oh, there's another black person. Oh my God. What are they doing? They're handling black people with gloves. They're being real gentle not to offend y'all. They're treating y'all like babies. And that's why a lot of, some of these cats, they're like narcissists. They're like babies. They act like narcissistic sociopaths. Straight up, like big fucking adult children. You can't tell them nothing. And one of the cases I posted, let me see. Bruh, George Floyd could have still been here if he complied, not justifying what the outcome was. But had he calmed his ass down, he would still be alive. These things we don't want to talk about. Yo, I've been talking about that. I don't give a fuck anymore, man. I don't give a fuck. You know how many friends I lost? I don't care. I don't talk to family no more. They think I'm fucking crazy. Because I'm telling the truth. My family's mad liberal. I got a liberal ass aunt that lives in Times Square, man, in Midtown, some shit. Bro, she was going nuts on me. I couldn't say shit. Like you live in Midtown, man. Wasn't there like a mass shooting over there the other day? Gangs from Brooklyn? And they don't want to talk about this shit. Simple compliance can save your life or avoid handcuffs. Bro, you don't know how many times I was in the wrong. And I want to tell y'all a story. I'm gonna keep reading. I keep interfering. This is a long ass comment by Dwayne Rose. He's pretty much saying the same garbage. It makes no sense. But I have a story where NYPD. I got mistreated by NYPD before. You know why? Because I was mouthing off. I was like 19 years old. I was in Queensboro Plaza, waiting for the 7 train when I used to live in Queens. I had just moved back to New York City from Florida. And I was drinking that night. I was twisted. There was some undercover cops, right? 2 undercover cops. I didn't even notice. Well, actually, I did notice them. And they were dealing with this drunk Mexican guy that was like really drunk, just sitting up on the one of the seats on the train, on the benches. And I'm standing up, and I spit on the railroad tracks, right? And one of the 2 undercovers, a white one, because it was a black one and it was a white one. They looked like they were in their 50s, maybe 40s. They looked, older, of course. Undercover DTs in the train. One of the white ones said, "Hey, you don't see us here? Respect the badge. What are you doing spitting?" And I was like, I started mouthing off. And I was like, what? I was like, because I spit on the railroad tracks. I looked down at the railroad tracks. There's rats. There's all types of trash, bottles, damn diapers. You got everything down there, man. And I'm like, you worried about me spitting? Look at all the trash that's down there. And I just kept talking. And I was like, you see, man, I said NY pricks and dicks. And I was like, this is why I want to move back to Florida, man. I can't stand New York City. And I just kept mouthing off. I just kept talking shit. Yo, these cops, they told me, wait till we get done with this guy. And I was like, man, you ain't gonna do shit. I didn't do nothing. I just spit, which is a crime. I didn't know, but it is a crime. I didn't even know till years later. But anyways, they finished with the Mexican, and they said, come with us, come with us. So I'm like, damn, I'm getting arrested? I was like, man, I just kept yapping, blah, blah, blah. And so they took me down the stairs. And then if you know Queensboro Plaza, so I know some of y'all don't, there's a long, like, bridge, walkway, that once you get out of the turnstile and down the train, and there's, like, this long, just, it's not stairs, but it's before you get to the stairs to go down. Right before I got to the stairs, these motherfuckers pushed me. They were like, let's see how tough you are now. They started fucking pushing me down the stairs. New York cops. This is when I was like 19, maybe 2003, 2004, 2003. By that time, there were tons of cops in the streets. The city had gotten a lot better. Giuliani recruited hundreds of thousands of cops, I believe. Tens of thousands of cops, maybe. And the crime went down during that time. But these cops were tough as fuck, man. They weren't playing no games. Yo, if I didn't jump, there was a big ass staircase, like maybe like 15 steps. And they just kept pushing me. And I was like, fuck it, man. I'm going to have to fucking turn around and jump because I was like actually wrestling with them. I turned around, they pushed me, and I jumped. I could have fucking cracked my head open and tore my leg, sprained my ankle or something. But I ended up jumping over all those steps. And they were like, stay down there. I was trying to come up. And they were like, stay the fuck down there. Get the fuck out of here. So I was like, what the fuck? I was like, I can't believe this just fucking happened to me. I just got fucking police brutality. You know, it wasn't nothing like bad. I didn't leave when, no, it could have been a lot worse. But I walked down the stairs and I was pissed. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, fuck this shit. I'm going back up. And I went back up and I looked for them and shit. I told the lady I couldn't find them, but I told the lady that was sitting behind the damn, what do you call it, in the booth or whatever, the token booth. I'm like, yo, these fucking cops just took me out here and just roughed me up, man. I was like, can you let me go in the turnstile? I don't have no money. I did have money. And she was like, I'm sorry, you got to pay. And I was like, all right, whatever, fuck it, I paid. And I got in there. But I have my stories where I got brutalized by cops. And then I got stories where I got stopped by cops. I was going fast as fuck. I was, driving, drinking, all types of shit, man. And just because I was respectful, I didn't act like an idiot. I try to, calm down and be good as shit and not show that I'm, whatever, under the influence, because there's been a few times. I don't do this shit no more, but when I was younger, man, I got caught. And, being nice, being polite, yes, sir, having everything clean, besides, of course, what I was doing, but all my papers and everything clean, I got off. There was many times I could have, got a ticket or whatever, mouthed off, and it would have been a lot worse than it was. But I learned from back in New York City, just be polite, be respectful. And even the scripture tells you, I forgot how it's worded. It's something like, agree with your adversary quickly, right? Yeah, man. But yeah, simple compliance, man. People that don't acknowledge this are enabling killers in our community. How to make a problem worse, ignore it. For sure, man. For sure. This is why I'm not playing around no more. I don't give a fuck who I offend. I don't care. I don't care if you think I'm racist or I'm pushing an agenda. Like, you stupid. If that's what you think, you really dumb. You don't know me. This cat. Let me keep reading this comment. So he said, I'm doing same thing like the liberal media, just in reverse. He said, but yet you literally do the same thing that you constantly whine about, just in reverse. Typical hypocrite, like most of the political cult members on both sides, Democrat and Republican. I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. I'm not none of them shits. You ever heard of a libertarian? Like, this guy is not that bright, man. He only thinks it's just Democrats and Republicans. Those are the two main popular ones. I don't consider myself a Republican or a Democrat, man. I probably align more with some Democratic shit. The moderate Democrats, if you really want to talk about it. Man, and I've been criticizing this shit. Even when I was on the Democratic side, when I was a progressive. I've been seeing the bullshit. But man, now I see that progressives are even worse. I think this cat is, I don't know what this cat is. Yeah, a lot of people think I'm a Republican. There's a lot of Democrats that do that. They criticize the liberals, like John McWhorter, Coleman Hughes. These are two black guys. I mean, very intelligent. Like John McWhorter, he's probably the most intelligent guy that I've ever heard. John McWhorter is amazing. Not the most intelligent guy, but one of the most intelligent guys that I've heard recently. He's a great linguist. He's like, man, he speaks so well. Like I try to learn from him, like saying some of the things that I'm saying right now, like, and there's certain things and speech patterns that people have that we need to drop, that we need to quit. Thomas Sowell, man, I was just thinking about him. He's great. But man, John McWhorter, he speaks so like fluent, like he just gets his point across. He's just well thought out. I gotta take some lessons from that guy. He's great. Coleman Hughes is great, criticizing the right. Who's the other guy that's always criticizing critical race theory? He was actually on the Babylon Bee, which is which is like Christian comedy little YouTube page. Oh man, what's his name? He's awesome, man. He's always talking about woke religion and critical race theory. This liberal stuff, this wokeness, this is like a religion. And this guy's saying that I'm doing the same thing. Yeah, Thomas Sowell inspired all these guys, man. And I've been listening to him more and more. And his book on economics, oh my God, I got that on Audible. He destroys this whole socialism, all this stuff that Bernie Sanders and AOC's talking about. He completely explains it, like how capitalism is not perfect, but there's certain ways to offset what's happening right now, which is the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, and you're gonna have that. That happens naturally. That's a natural occurrence that you got to try to offset it somehow. And you have a lot of social programs. America is not completely capitalist. There's social programs that help people out. The problem is that our people, Hispanics, African Americans, I know from experience, Hispanics do this in New York City in the hood. They get on food stamps or welfare. They get their little room in projects. They know that if they make more money, they can't live in the projects. So they come up with all types of scams where they won't excel in life. They get complicit and just happy just being where they're at, being in a low level, you know what I mean? And they do whatever they got to do to hustle under the table or whatever, or they take mad time off of work when it comes time for them to do their reevaluation. They'll take like a whole week off or something, so their income shows that they make less than what they really make. Or they do a part-time job and then they get somebody that lives with them and they don't put them in the lease. They do anything to get over, and then they become complicit and they never excel. They never become homeowners. You know, it's just it's this is why a lot of this welfare and affirmative action, all this shit, it incentivizes people to stay dumb, to stay at a certain level. It doesn't inspire you to be great. So that's what's really been happening with the hood, with African Americans and Hispanics. We get complicit, man. I've seen it happen in New York City, man. I've seen it with my own eyes. They get this damn little sweet. This is damn roach infested damn apartment in the projects and shit. And because they pay $200, $300 a month, $400, $500 a month maybe, they think they hit the jackpot. So they're like, all right, well, I guess this is it. I don't got to make that much. Now I got to figure out a way to keep this. And they find their way to work around the government. They get married to the government. All this baby mama and baby daddy shit. You get married to the government now. African Americans used to get married, man. You had a strong family structure in the 50s and the 60s. That's why I like what Ben Shapiro said one day. He was like, are we more racist today? He's like, how you got the family structure? You got children being born out of wedlock like crazy nowadays. Back in the days, it wasn't like that. Are we more racist today than we were back then? Man, there's so many excuses that people want to give, just to I don't know, just to be the victim, just to not excel, just to not take agency and responsibility. And it's become the destruction. It's become our own destruction. Dwayne Rose, man, I don't know where you at, bro. I've been waiting on you. I'm still on here. But yeah, Mike Stevens, man, Thomas Sowell. What a man. I could not believe how much time I lived without knowing who that guy was. Like, what a gem. I went crazy when I found out who he was. I started downloading all his stuff. Let me see what this cat's saying here. This cat, he actually responded just now, or like an hour ago. But yeah, damn thing, Dwayne Rose. I hope he sees how what I'm doing is not the same as what liberals do, but in reverse. I'm showing you the reality of things. I'm showing you that there's a homicide issue in the black community. It's not like white people and black people kill each other at the same rate. No, it's worse. This is what black Hebrew Israelites don't tell you. This is what liberals don't tell you. They all talk the same. There's no two sides in reverse and we all wrong. No, man. The truth is that African Americans commit more homicides and more murder. The truth is that liberals, black Hebrew Israelites, all these cats, not just liberals, not just Democrats, it's all y'all cats that even the ones that don't want to claim that you political. All you former black Hebrew Israelites or former ICGJC members that want to leave the church and y'all want to be a black nationalist still or whatever. Or you follow BLM. You talk the same. You still think just like them. You don't get a full, well-rounded education on, and information on who are the people that's being shot by cops. Is it only black people that get shot for this? Like they had the one with the Karen. That was like the infamous, the original Karen, I think, was the one that called the cops on the black girl that was trying to sell lemonade. The cops get called for white kids selling lemonade all the time. I've seen 3 or 4 different videos where white kids had to shut down their operation because cops were called on their lemonade stand. You would think that this is only happening to black people. It's not, man. It's not unique to black people. That shit is a law. It's actually illegal to do that. But you got people you got neighbors, man. You probably got some damn nosy ass neighbors that want to call. And it's not just because the person's black. The thing is that it's like, I don't know, man. It's just a mental illness. It's like you can't do anything else but, oh, it's got to be because I'm black. I didn't do nothing wrong. You didn't do nothing wrong. It's just because you're black. Like, stop jumping to that immediately. That shit's gotten old. But it looks like this cat done bowed out of the comments section here, but I'm going to keep roasting him and reading his comment. So he said, I can see your point if you weren't such a blatant hypocrite. What? How do you whine about how the media only shows biased news to paint a false narrative? So they're showing biased news to paint a false narrative, right? That's the truth. And then you go and literally do the same exact thing. How is it a false narrative that there are more black people shooting up schools when that's the actual facts? How is that a false narrative that African Americans do predominantly most of the mass shootings, most of the homicides? At 13% of the population, they do 52 to 54% of the homicides. That's 4 times more than their population rate. And it's not women. It's less than 13% of the population. It's not even just all men, which would be 7% of the population. It's like 3% of the population that's doing 52 to 54% of the murder. Do you think I'm lying? It's like 3% of the population, if you want to be specific. It's like people from age 17 or 18 to age 34. And you could even bring that number down more. And maybe the murder rate will go down like 40%, but it's like, man, it'd be like, let's say like 19-year-olds to 28-year-olds in the black community, they commit like 40% of the fucking murders in this country. It's a certain age group. They get to a certain age group, they probably don't have a father figure at home, and they get caught up in this whole culture. That's why you got to study sociology also, and learn about how culture can affect a whole society, a whole race of people. Don't you know Asians have a certain culture? Asians do like more studying their homework. They take more time on their homework, like 4 times the rate as everybody else. as black people, like 3 times the rate as white people. They take time on their homework and on their studying. That's a cultural thing. They got that from their parents. They got that from their country. That's a cultural thing. So there's certain cultural things that groups, races pick up that's beneficial. Now you have the black culture that's picked up negative cultural things that's affecting black people in a negative way. It's affecting Hispanics too, because in New York City, Hispanics commit a lot of the crime compared to their population, but not as much as African Americans. But it's still bad. You know, in Los Angeles, 49% of the population is Hispanic. At least they were in 2013. I think I got a stat from 2013 or 2015. Check the stats out in Los Angeles. I know it by heart. 49% of African Americans make up the population in Los Angeles. 49% also of the victims are Hispanics. The victims of homicide in Los Angeles are Hispanic. That's proportionate to the population. So that's not a crazy number because they already make up most of the population. There's 9% black people in Los Angeles. 37% of the people that die in Los Angeles are black. And they're only 9% of the population. And most crime and homicides are committed intraracially. It's done to your own people. So that means black people are killing their people at like 4 times the rate that other people are killing themselves in Los Angeles. You don't believe me? Look up the fucking pie chart of victims. It only shows the victims, but you can gauge who the suspects are from the race of the victim. Because like I said, most crime is done intraracially. You do it to your own. White people are like 27% of the population, and they make up 11% of the homicides of the victims. Asians are like 11% of the population. They make up less than 1% of the victims, the homicide victims. Asians don't kill nobody. You never heard of a Jewish person going out and doing a fucking drive-by or doing a mass shooting? How rare is that? You don't hear that shit going on. There's certain cultures that just don't do certain things because it's not normal to them. This shit has become too normal in the black community. And now you can't even speak about it. Look at this shit. Dwayne Rose is saying that I'm a hypocrite, that I'm being biased, that I'm doing the reverse and creating a false narrative. It's a false narrative. I'm showing you the shootings, in the school shootings in 2021 in this country. And because the disproportionately is done by African Americans, you think that I'm doing that because I'm showing it? It's a false narrative. Man, you got a fucking mental problem. I wish you was on here, man. Dwayne Rose. You really, I mean, you said it. You said you're not the sharpest tool in the toolbox. Where are you at? Let's see. KOA. Do you know they are trying to make a law against white people calling the cops on black people? Yeah. Yeah, I know. But black people can't commit a hate crime, like that shit that happened in Waukesha, Wisconsin, the Christmas parade, that shit should have been a hate crime, man. I'm sorry. If that person was white and he ran over a bunch of black people in a black parade, they would have automatically went to racism. And they wouldn't have even doubted it. Just the simple fact that it would have been a bunch of black people and it was a white person that did it, that would have been the number one reason. You wouldn't even have to think about it. They would have just charged him with a hate crime. It's crazy, man. And they try to make it seem, oh, there's no evidence. He was fleeing from a crime. The cops weren't chasing him. He had committed a crime, and maybe he said, yo, fuck it, I'm gonna just go all out. But they try to make it seem like he was fleeing from the crime. Why would he go down a parade route? He could have went anywhere else. You mean to tell me he chose to go down the parade route to run away from cops? Cops weren't chasing him. So they try to make it seem like, oh, well, cops are chasing him. When you read the verbiage, it says that he was fleeing from a crime, which means he committed a crime and he left or whatever. But why did he go towards that parade and purposely run people over? And we have, I showed you, I did the video on the Waukesha cat, Darrell Brooks Jr. or Darrell. I think his name is pronounced Darrell. Whatever, man. This cat ran over 70 white people and killed 6 of them. And, well, not racism. It's no signs. But you look into his social media posts, he's talking about Hitler knew the Jews were black. That's black nationalism right there, man. That's all I need right there. He said we're going to start knocking out white people. We're going to start knocking out old white people, he said. He had a post that said that. What? You mean this guy has no history of racism? No signs of racism? What are you talking about? This shit is crazy. That's crazy. But KOA, what about Jussie Smollett? He created a fake hate crime and called the cops. What about that one? There's so much fake racism too. Remember the Covington shit? Covington kids, the MAGA hat kids in DC? That had to do with Israelites. Israelites were out there. They started the whole thing. They were calling those kids pedophiles, future pedophiles, and child molesters, crackers. They were saying all types of shit, racist ass shit. The MAGA kids didn't say anything. They were just like laughing and all of that shit. And what did the media do? The media, that Native American cat came and started banging the drum right in front of the kid's face. And everybody was like, oh, look at that white kid smiling. He's so evil. Look at how he's smiling. What the hell? You got all these racist black Hebrew Israelites chanting and saying all types of homophobic and crazy ass racist shit. And then you got the Native American guy that came right up in his face and banged the drum. And they were saying that the white kid was racist. Like, what the hell? Like, the kid was just standing there. You know, he ended up suing. His name is something Sandlot. Jesse Sandlot? I think that was his name. Yo, he ended up suing CNN. And what do you think Kyle Rittenhouse is gonna be able to do? He's gonna sue CNN because they were calling him all types of names. They threw dirt on his name. You see all this fake racism that they're pushing? There was another guy. What was that NASCAR racer? Bubba Johnson? Bubba something. Yo, this cat said they put a noose in my garage door. They put a noose. It was fake. It wasn't a noose. It was just a rope hanging from the garage door. You know how many times I've seen a rope tied to a garage door so you could pull it up easier, so you don't have to actually grab the metal garage door. You could just pull up the rope. He was saying that somebody tied a noose and this was racist. And it came out that no, that's just how it was, man. Because you come in to visit in one of these NASCAR stadiums, this is not your garage. And you think, oh, they did this shit on purpose. That's how the garages are, man. You don't even... Dumb shit. People were saying, oh, snap, we got to investigate a hate crime. What's all this fake racism going on? What was the other one with Sean King, man? There was one where a little girl got shot. Yeah, I'm going off track from this dumbass comment that Dwayne Rose put. I'm roasting you, Dwayne Rose. I'm sorry. You said some dumbass shit. But it was that one chick, Jasmine... Damn, I forgot her name. Jasmine Barnes. Man, look up this story with Jasmine Barnes. Little girl gets shot in Texas, I believe. Killed. Sad ass story. Now, it was like some type of mistaken identity, right? One of the cars that rushed from the scene was identified by the mother, but the mother was so distraught that she just mentioned that this guy was a white guy in the truck that I saw driving away from the gunshots, of course. So that's all she saw, and that's all she could remember. Look up what the new... I got to do a video. I'm going to do a video on this because I found a juicy-ass news clip where the aunt was saying that she just happened to mention this one guy that she saw, and the media and Sean King, if you know Sean King, he's the #1 damn race hustler. He's a damn race grifter. They ran with that, and they said, that's the guy. We got to get that guy. That was him. And they made it a racial case. Come to find out, the shooter was black. That goes to show you, and the world went crazy. Before they found out that it was a black guy, that he turned himself in. Ava DuVernay was posting about it. Everybody came out. Now, they never post about this when it's a black person that kills a child. They never talk about this shit. Sequoia Turner in Atlanta, they made a big deal out of that because the city was fed up, you know? But that goes to show you right there. When I saw that happen, I was like, holy snap. Everybody only cares about the racial dynamics of a case. They don't care about these kids. This cat want to talk about that oh, I don't care about these victims. You look at my Instagram. I'm constantly posting about kids getting shot, black kids that nobody cares about. Nobody talks about this shit until it's a white fucking suspect, until it's a white killer. The Trayvon Martin case. You know, the guy was half Mexican, man. They were like, good enough. Let's go with it. They made that shit a fucking national case, man. Where the kid was fighting Zimmerman. Yeah, Zimmerman was following him, and there was a 911 operator, not a cop. 911 operator said, he said, I'm following him. 911 operator said, you don't need to do that, sir. That got changed to a cop, not a 911 operator now. A cop said, don't follow him. 911 operators don't give demands. He said, we don't need you to do that. He wasn't told by a cop not to follow him. But that's a whole nother story. I just realized that lately because I was talking to my boy Brooklyn Outlaw, and that's a common myth. He said, "Oh, the cops told him not to follow him." No, look it up. You can type up 5 common myths of the Trayvon Martin case. The number one that comes up, people think that a cop told Zimmerman, "Don't follow him." When it was a 911 operator, he can't give no demands. He said, we don't need you to do that. Not the same thing. But anyways, he was following Trayvon. Trayvon Martin was the aggressor and initiated the fight. I'm sorry. Yes, the guy was following him. Yes, he was being over aggressive, neighborhood watch, whatever. I mean, he wasn't aggressive. He was just following him. Trayvon Martin could have went to his home. It would have been all right. He would have been alive. What did he decide to do? He decided to fight George Zimmerman. What did George Zimmerman feel the need to do? Because he was getting his head bashed in and he was getting beat up. He said, I got to stand my ground. And that's what happened in that case. They made a fucking big deal out of that. Why? Because it was a white on black. They do that constantly. They always trying to shine the light. Look at this evil white guy. Look at this evil white guy. Look what he did to this black person. That's what happened with that Jasmine Barnes case. They saw that, oh, it's a little girl. This is the emotional appeal was going to be off the hook with that. Off the hook. And it was. They were going crazy already on Twitter. Ava DuVernay, Sean King. I forgot who else was, the Young Turks. They were going crazy about them. And then it blew up right in their face. They come to realize, it's just a normal case. Send the cameras back. Bro, they don't give a fuck. This shows you right there that they don't care. They are the ones that don't care. I'm over here trying to show you this is harming the black community. We need to speak up. We need to care. And this guy's going to send me a comment because he's mad that he's saying I'm doing the same thing, painting a false narrative. This is not a false narrative. Cops are not killing black people disproportionately. Out of all the deaths in the black community, it's coming from cops less than 1% of the time. It's coming from white people less than 1% of the time. There's more black on white homicides than white on black homicides. Double. It's 8%. I think it was like 8%. I forgot. 8% white on black, 16% black on white. I think it's less than 8% white on black, actually. Because when it comes to the homicides in the black community, 92% of the time it's coming from a black person. So who's doing it those 8% of the times? Probably white or Hispanic or somebody else, right? So it may be more than what I said, more than 1% white people. I think it's 8% of the time was white on black. 84% or 83% of white people are killed by white people. So that leaves about 16 to 17% where it's coming from someone else. Who do you think is the other race that it's coming from? And then they want to complain and make it seem like it's the other way around. So it's the false narrative, Dwayne Rose, is coming from the liberal media. I'm giving you the correct narrative, my brother. You ain't seeing it. You think there's two sides to the coin, like, you idiot, man. There's no two sides. There's right and wrong. Yeah, that's two sides. They're wrong and I'm right. Like, what other two sides? Like, what other side is there? He doesn't make no sense. Oh, there's two. You're on the other side. You're Republican, and so who's right? Nobody's right. You're right, I guess. Right? He thinks he's right. I hate these people that. Oh, I'm not political. I don't. Jesus Christ. All right, Dwayne Rose. He said he's at work. Mm-hmm. All right, let's keep it reading. All right, I'm gonna close it on this. So he says. He says, it don't take a rocket scientist to see all the kind of propaganda you're pushing, my guy. All it is a reverse Democrat liberal agenda mixed with some good old-fashioned whataboutisms. You're going through all that to push your agenda, yet you say, I'm the emotional one. See, he thinks whataboutisms is saying, well, yeah, Tamir Rice got shot, but so did Peyton Ham also got shot. That's not whataboutism. I'm telling you that because the narrative is that it only happens to black people. That's why you have to point out Peyton Ham. It's not that I'm saying, oh, forget Tamir Rice. What about Peyton Ham? I'm saying, look at all of them. That's not whataboutism, Dwayne Rose. You got it completely wrong. What I'm doing is showing you I'm destroying the liberal narrative. It's not two sides to it. It's not like it's the same thing just on the liberal or the Republican. I'm not a Republican, bro. Who told you I'm a Republican? You even know what a Republican is? Like, crazy. You're crazy, bro. So there is only two sides. There's the false narrative and there's the real narrative. I'm telling you the real narrative. I'm showing you that this is not unique to black people. George Floyd, the white counterpart to George Floyd is Tony Timpa. I'm not saying that to show you, oh, who cares about George Floyd? Look at what about Tony Timpa? I'm showing you that to show you that there's a fucking narrative on the liberal side. They're not showing you what's really happening. I'm showing you what's really happening by talking about Tony Timpa. I'm showing you what happened in the Pekin Park raid to show you that, yeah, it happened to Breonna Taylor. It also happened in the Pekin Park raid in, I believe, Houston, Texas, where it was white people that got raided and got shot and killed, and they killed a dog too, and they forged the warrant, and they found out 3 years later, 2 years later, the Breonna Taylor case got finished in less than a year. One of the killers, one of the moms killed the shooting suspects in this school shooting. I forget which one it was. Damn, I forgot which one it was. But you can see my video, man. It's somewhere towards the end, I believe, somewhere halfway. One of the suspects' mother was getting praised and hugged by everybody. The black woman. They arrested the parents of Ethan Crumbley. They straight up arrested him. This woman was getting praised. This is the mother of the killer, who was saying that she knew that there was problems. She knew that the kid had problems with somebody else. He had just got suspended, her son. And she came and said that the school failed her and her kid. What? No responsibility, no agency, and everybody, white people and everybody clapping for her and hugging her. Like, holy shit, yo. And then black people want to complain. Like, y'all the ones that are complaining, saying that you're being oppressed and nobody has it like us. It's the opposite, my guy. I'm showing you the real deal, and you're getting upset because reality's hitting you. There is no Republican and Democrat narrative. There's none of that. There's the truth and there's fake. There's reality and there's damn straight lies. You're being fed nothing but lies. I showed you the reality of all the shootings. And you're saying that I'm trying to push a narrative. I'm showing you the reality. How is that a narrative? It's the fucking facts. It's the crime statistics, man. Look at the statistics, man. You think you don't believe in numbers now, I guess, right? It's a conspiracy. It's an FBI conspiracy. That's what they're going to say. Because when all else fails, you just deny reality. Just deny the facts. But let's keep reading this crap. It's hilarious how you don't see how much of a hypocrite you are. You do all this talk about the liberal media, biased propaganda, and only paints a bad light on a certain group, but yet you literally do the exact same thing that you constantly whine about, just in reverse. But that's because it's the truth. I don't have to paint no race as whatever. It's the truth. You're mad because I'm fucking exposing it for what it is. The liberal media doesn't want to show you that. They want to handle y'all with gloves and shit. And I want to show you the truth. And you don't want to see it, man. You can't. It's a hard pill to swallow, I know. So he says, typical hypocrite like most of you political cult members on both sides. Jesus Christ. Democrat and Republican. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. So you're wrong. I can see your point if you weren't such a blatant hypocrite. I can see your point if you weren't such a blatant hypocrite. So he's saying that I do have a point. He knows I have a point. That he's saying I'm a hypocrite. How am I a hypocrite? I'm showing and exposing the facts. Why don't you go on my San Miguel channel, my San Miguel TV channel on Instagram, _, and you can see I post about everybody. I post about Nicholas Cruz. I post about different people. I post about Ethan Crumley. But when it's happening more from one race, what do you want me to do? Hide it like the liberals are doing? Bro, what I showed you in that 2021 school shooting video was the reality. Your response right here shows me that you don't want to see the reality. You want to hide this shit. And you're upset. We not supposed to talk about what's going on? Like, Jesus Christ. This guy is the problem right here. And he thinks he's like an intellectual. I think this guy's an atheist or something. Like, bro, you're very illogical. There's a lot of really stupid atheists out here. I mean, they like to profess that they're, logical and all of that, but it's like, yo, come on. How do you whine about how the media only shows biased news to paint a false narrative, and then you go and literally do the same exact thing, or the exact same thing, LMF? I'm painting a false narrative? I'm painting the real narrative of what's actually going on. And I'm not going to focus. Also, I want to focus on what's happening in my community amongst the people that I know and I hang out with, because that's what's going to affect me. That's what's going to affect us. Why would I care about what's happening in some white neighborhood or some white community? I mean, I do care, but why would I focus on that if, I'm not really involved in that, if I'm not really around like that? You know what I mean? I don't know if you know, but when the Gabby Petito case was going, you had liberals and black nationalists trying to say, damn, trying to say that her forefathers were slave owners to try to take the attention away from her. Yeah, they were mad about the Gabby Petito. It's like, what do you want? That's an ongoing case where they have a suspect here. They have a situation where they suspect the boyfriend did something. So you have information happening. It was national because the story was literally national, right? She came from one state to another, and she was known like she was a YouTuber. People were saying, oh, they got all this, what was it, the white woman syndrome or something. Oh my God, they be talking about white people for everything. They turn everything into a racial case when it has nothing to do with race. Like, Jesus Christ, man. Anything that doesn't have to do with race, they find a way to make it about race. Like, yo, the girl was known for being a YouTuber. The husband was the suspect. When you have these missing black girls, 90 to 95% of the time, they ran off with their boyfriend and they come back home. And they have a fucking older boyfriend that they don't tell their mom about. And there's no trace of what happened. With this girl, there's a trace. They could follow along what happened. With these girls, sometimes they just fucking disappear, man. They straight up just disappear and run off with their boyfriend. They come back. You think they'd just be missing and they gone and that's it? No, if you follow up on these cases, these girls be coming back 90 to 95% of the time. I'm telling you, man. And there's no like national case because You don't have a person that you know that they went over here, you know that they travel here, you know, you have videos of them in another state talking to the cops with Gabby Petito. Like that case had so much information. It was ongoing. They were able to follow up on stuff. With these other cases where they talk about these missing black girls, they can't follow up. There's nothing that comes out. There's no suspect. There's no story like the Gabby Petito story. They weren't big YouTubers. Guess what? During that same time, Kelly Price went missing for a while. Kelly Price went missing for like a damn week or two or something. Come to find out, she was like in the hospital or something. You know, blame her boyfriend for not reporting that. You know, they try to make a big deal out of it. Like, oh, we gotta use her. She'd be the missing black woman that we could use. She was in damn hospital, man. She's like fucking obese or something. You know, but she got like diabetes or something. She had to go to the hospital. She didn't report it to nobody. I forgot. I think her boyfriend knew. So when it started coming out, her husband knew or whatever. When it started coming out, he was like, no, we good. You don't gotta know where she's at. You know, but he's fought, man. Like, people are crazy. Either way, let's read this. So this guy's saying I'm painting a false narrative. The real narrative is that African Americans are committing most of these school shootings. What, you don't want me to talk about that? These people don't want me to talk about that. All right. Then it says, and then you go and literally do the same thing. This is what I mean by both sides are a bunch of whiny hypocrites, and you know exactly what I'm talking about, so you can't try to play semantics. This guy thinks he's smart trying to use these words and play slow as if your post isn't political or doesn't have an agenda. How is it political or doesn't have an agenda? Like, this guy's crazy. But it's quite obvious the agenda you're pushing, my guy. You're no better than the liberal media you complain about so much. You're just on the other side of the coin, homeboy. Other side of the coin. If they're spreading the lies, the false narrative, what I'm doing is spreading the real narrative. Real narrative is that African Americans are committing most of these things. What are you mad about? That I'm exposing it? All I did was show all the mass shootings or all the school shootings. That's what I did. Some of them were Hispanics. So what do you mean? I'm not just showing black people. I showed some Hispanics in there. There happened to be no other white incident besides the Oxford one, which I already spoke about, which everybody already knows about. Why would I need to put that in there when everybody already knows about that? This is to offset just that one narrative, that one information. I'm giving you the other side of it so you can get the complete look, the complete puzzle. And you think now I'm doing the other side of the coin. This dude is not making any sense. Only you people could turn horrible tragedies like this into pissing contests of who does it more for your agendas. This is to show you the reality so we could focus on the problems in the neighborhood. What agenda? He's trying to make it seem like I'm fucking getting paid, or I'm like, what agenda do I have, man? I'm just a fucking guy on YouTube. Jesus Christ. I can't believe that I actually genuinely thought you were an elevated, logical thinking, intelligent dude that was past all of the games, political doctrines, race baiting, victimhood nonsense, only to realize that all you did was jump from one cult to another, jump from one doctrine to another, and jump from the race baiting victimhood with the Israelite nonsense to the exact same race baiting victimhood nonsense, just to a different group and different ideology. Bro, you make no sense. What victimhood am I doing? I'm Hispanic. Hispanic are doing a lot of the fucking murdering too. Hispanics did some of the school shootings too, and I'm showing that to show you and expose truth about what's happening, about the issues in our community. And you want to fucking handle with gloves. Bro, you acting like a liberal. I know that Dwayne Rose probably doesn't think he's a liberal, but he has that same liberal ideology. Because if he sees that the liberals are showing just one race, then I'm showing that, no, it's not just this race. It happens to everybody, which is the reality of things. It's not the other side or the another narrative. It's the real deal. I don't understand this guy. Have fun with the fake outrage, woof news rhetoric. You have truly ascended, my guy. Great job. Go on and prosper with your newfound wisdom. So now he's being all, fake and whatever. And he says, I didn't even I commented it. He said, I didn't even read your essays because I'm about to go to work. Keep doing your thing. Hopefully one day one of those shows will pick you up to talk politics because you have such a new, fresh take on the world. So intelligent, level-headed, and balanced you are without an ounce of bias at all. Bro, this guy is so backwards and lost. It's a damn shame. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, that's exactly what Black Lives Matter does. They focus, like what KOA is saying, yo. Like, talk about a hypocrite, man. Tessa, come. Talk about a hypocrite. Here, come. He said, I had a BLM, DTX speak says, I had a BLM BHI supporter use the Kunta Kinte torture scene from The Roots to demonize Gabby and show why she's not innocent. KOA, focusing on who does it more. Isn't that BLM? That's exactly what BLM and liberals do. And many black people do. They say how whites have killed more people, everyone else in the history of the world, when anyone talks about black crime. Exactly. Talk about being a hypocrite. Jeez, you hit it right on the money, KOA. Man, that's exactly what they do. Like, you can't even talk about what's really going on. Like, yo, we can't talk about the homicides in Philly? The reason why I'm pointing that out, because I did a video where I spoke about that. And I'm going to do more videos on Philadelphia, don't worry. I got one coming on Baltimore with the illiteracy rate in Baltimore. Jesus Christ, it's disgusting. Damn, St. Louis. St. Louis murder rate has gone down from last year. I don't know what they're doing. Well, I know what they're doing. They're focusing on the heavy crime. There's only certain areas where they need to put these cops at. That's what they're figuring out in St. Louis. And I hope they work it out because St. Louis has been one of the worst cities for years. I mean, for decades. It switches up between three cities. It's Detroit, Baltimore, and St. Louis constantly. And then Camden is up there too. Camden is horrible. And Philly's coming up, man. Philly's on the come up. And Chicago has Chicago's still horrible, man. Chicago's still horrible. It's just so many people in Chicago compared to those cities that we named that the murder rate in those other cities is just higher. There's so many people in Chicago that the crime and the shooting and the killings is not all happening throughout the entire city. There are certain pockets of the city that's happening rampant. So, the murder per capita rate is not as bad when you compare the population, but the murders are still like at 600 this year, which is higher than any other city. So because there's so many people in the city, you factor in the population rate, and it's not as bad as Philly. But Philly has 7 times less people than New York City. Population is 7 times less. And they have over 200 and something more murders than New York City. That's insane. That is insane. And the city's like 70 or 80% African American, I believe. Is that Detroit? 70% African American? I think Philadelphia might be 60 to 70% African Americans. They committed like 90% of the fucking crime. The homicides. I'm telling you, they're killing blacks, Hispanics, white people. They killed a white person on what's that campus? That white kid. It was a black kid that did that. He reversed the races. I'm giving you the reality here. See, I'm not saying, oh my God, see, I'm not making a big deal out of it. Like, we got to protest and we got to do this. I'm just showing you the reality, Dwayne Rose. To show you that stop crying and stop whining about, oh, it's always happening to black people, blah, blah, blah. I'm showing you the reality. And guess what? The most of the people that get harmed by this, the victims are largely African Americans. So what's wrong with exposing that, pointing that out? There's nothing wrong with that. That's what we need to be doing. But talking about, oh, you're just like a liberal or a Democrat, but you're just on the other side of the coin. That's really unintelligent, and I would love to get this Dwayne Rose guy on my live so we could actually talk about this, because he thinks that he's really smart. He thinks he's saying something that's intelligent. Yo, you doing the same thing. You sound like my cousin, man. I wouldn't be surprised if that's my cousin. Cousin Julio's fucking idiot. Like, you doing the same thing. He was saying that shit to me. Like, what you mean I'm doing the same thing? Because I'm showing that white people die just like black people, when it's the other way around that they're showing you. The liberal media is just showing you one side, and I'm telling you that it's not just that, it's everybody. They're hyping people up to think, you see, we're being oppressed, it just happens to us. By showing the truth, it wouldn't have people so hyped and going crazy. Like Gavin Long, like Micah Johnson, thinking that we need to retaliate and kill cops. There was another guy that killed a bunch of cops in New York City. He came from Baltimore. It kind of reminds me of Darrell Brooks Jr. in Milwaukee, because the guy in Baltimore committed a crime in Baltimore. He drove all the way to New York City and decided, I'm going to kill two cops. He killed two cops, a Hispanic and an Asian cop, I believe, up in Bushwick. I think I think that's the same story. I forget that guy's name. People don't talk about that. It's gaslighting, yeah. Exactly. So they gaslight you, and then when you tell them what's really happening, they say, "Oh, that's whataboutism." What? That's what this guy Dwayne Rose just did in my comment section. It's like, this is all whataboutisms. How is it whataboutisms? They're gaslighting you, making you think, "Oh, look, this only happens to black people. Look what happened with the guy with the fake gun. What's his name? Tamir Rice. There was another guy that had a fake gun in Walmart. You know, he was holding that shit like a real gun. Just he was looking real weird. And I'm like, what do you expect, man? Like, it looks like a real gun. And he got shot. Yeah, maybe he got shot too quick. That's what happens when you think it's a real gun. The cops have immunity because they think it's either their life or your life. And yeah, it's unfortunate, but they don't know until after the fact. That's why they have immunity. We grant them that immunity to take that chance. We grant them that, because otherwise, if they don't have that immunity and they can't shoot, they don't have that right to shoot. There's gonna be so many more dead cops. You know how many cops I've seen get shot? I put it in the end of one of my videos. Which one was it? The 45-minute long video, I believe, when I was showing all that stuff. It was a guy that got shot, man. No, I didn't put it in my video. I'm gonna do another video. I did one recently. I posted it on my Instagram. That's what it was. But I'm gonna throw it on my YouTube. It's a whole compilation of shootouts in St. Louis. It's like, you can't find a reel of shootouts like that with any other race. I'm sorry. Asians don't do this, man. Jewish people don't do this. You see Hispanics thrown in there. They do it. But it's not happening like it's happening in the black community. I'm sorry. Sorry to tell you like it is. But it needs to be fucking spoken about, and it needs to stop. And people like you, Dwayne Rose, who ignore it, you're not helping. You're trying to come at me for pointing out the obvious. And he's trying to say, oh, you just doing what they're doing. Like, I showed you all the shootings in 2021, except for the one in Oxford, which was the white guy. And because the reality of the fact is that it's predominantly coming from African Americans, you think that I'm being biased. That's insane to me. Just because that's the reality of it. Like, you're like one of these people that you see a result. Oh, snap, you got 50 people, 50 to 60% African Americans that get arrested for crack cocaine. It must be something wrong with the law. Like, just because you have a result that has a disparity, they think that there's something wrong with the law instead of the people that are doing the crime. They look at the law and they say the law must be racist because the result shows a disparity in race. So therefore, the law must be racist. No. Just like I gave you the example where white people do meth. They do meth more. So the arrests yield more white people for meth. That doesn't mean that the laws for meth are racist. Nurses are mostly women. That doesn't mean that the nursing program is sexist. Just because the result is that there's more women that come out to be nurses. It's the same logic, Dwayne Rose. It's like, man, you gotta sometimes talk to these people like babies. And what makes it worse is that he thinks he's like a smart person. Those are the worst people because they think that they know some shit. They think that they're an intellectual, and it's like you're not even using these whataboutisms. You don't even know what a whataboutism is. How am I doing whataboutism, right? Like, this is crazy because I'm showing him the reality of crime. That's whataboutism. Wow, insane. No one talks about how murder rates have skyrocketed after police backed up. Yeah, Minneapolis hasn't been this bad since 95, 96. They must have loved violence. Minneapolis is horrible, man. Ilhan Omar, Jesus Christ, man. Get that woman out of there. St. Louis has that Cori Bush chick. Oh, here's another story, guys. Y'all ever heard of Daisha Kelly, who Cori Bush was pushing? Yo, this chick was a fake ass mother of three. She tricked CNN into thinking that she needed help and she was getting evicted. And she took these three half white kids, right? Three half white kids. You could tell the kids were half white. She's black as hell. Daisha Kelly, look her up. Yo, this America's so racist, right? This woman raised $230,000 as a fraud. Those kids were not even hers. They were her boyfriend's kids. Her boyfriend popped up in an interview a few weeks later. He came in the background. She was saying she was a single mother. The dude came in the background of a video. Hello. Yo, she was saying she's a single mother. She's about to be evicted. And I think she said she had two baby daddies, 2 or 3 different baby daddies. You had 2 or 3 different white baby daddies? I don't believe that. That shit should have been red flags like crazy. You never heard of Daisha Kelly? Yo, this shit just happened like a few months ago, man. You see, like this stuff happens and then they wash it away, bro. They clean it up. They sweep it away. Yo, it never happened. It never happened. Cori Bush is like, what is she, a congresswoman in St. Louis or something? She's one of these woke people, with defund the police. Since you talk about defund the police, yo, that shit affected the hood like crazy, by the way. Minneapolis is bad. But, yeah, Daisha Kelly, man, look her up. She defrauded everybody. She got $230,000. She's black as hell, man. You want to say America's racist? Yo, this girl is dark as hell. Has some damn half. You could tell them kids was dipped in some cream or something, man. It's like when you take the coffee and put the cream in there, you see the dark turn kind of like, creamy white, whatever, creamy, creamy brown, beige. That's how them kids look. And then you see the boyfriend came up in the interview after she got found out. She did an interview with some no-name YouTuber. I ended up seeing it. I was like, what the hell? The dude was black as hell. She's black as hell. And he came out in the background. Hey, she said she was a single mother. It wasn't even her kids. It was a white girl's kids that she was babysitting. Like, she would rarely babysit. Her boyfriend is not with the mother anymore, of course. He's with her. Her boyfriend got a kid with another girl, too. Like, crazy dude. He's not working. He's not doing shit. They were about to get evicted. I don't know what they were doing up in there. They had some weird ass looking people up in there when I saw that second interview. Bro, this girl defrauded everybody. She had this Congresswoman, Cori Bush, promoting her. The woke woman. If you know Cori Bush, she was the one that wanted to defund the police in St. Louis. Defund the police in St. Louis. Jesus Christ. And then she paid $70,000 to have personal security at the same time. And then when they asked her about it, they said, "Don't you think this is a little hypocritical that you want to defund the police, but you're paying $70,000 for personal security?" You know what she said? She said, "Well, y'all must want me to die then." She doesn't even realize how the irony behind all of this. Crazy, crazy. That's Cori Bush. That's one of these woke people. You know, I think she's down with the squad or whatever. Ilhan Omar. But yeah, back to Minneapolis, man. Ilhan Omar, yo, she is horrible. She's messing up that city, man. But not only have they defunded the police in Philadelphia, they defunded the police, and they surprised why the homicides are up to 500 and damn, I don't even know, 15 now, some crazy number. They did it in Philadelphia, Chicago. They did it in New York City. They did it in Baltimore. The worst cities. Seattle. Portland? Portland is gone. They're so gone. That's fucking Antifa Central right there. I forgot where else they did it at. And I think New Orleans, man, New Orleans is another one of the worst cities. Oh, Memphis is horrible, by the way. The murders in Memphis? Y'all heard about that rapper Young Dolph? That dude got murked out there in the damn cookie store in Memphis. Yo, Memphis is crazy. I was looking up homicides in Memphis. Yo, I fell in a rabbit hole one day. I didn't even realize how bad Memphis is. Memphis is horrible. There was a woman out there, man. I got stuck on this story. I thought this was the funniest story. Look this up. This woman's name is Chandrika. This is why people get applications for jobs and they see names like Chandrika Williams. I'm good. I'm good. It's just, I hate to say it, you know, because black people in the 60s, 70s used to have names like Clifford and, you know, Joanne and nice names, you know, names that are, you know, you can't tell who it is, you know, Earl, you know, shit like that, just simple shit. Now it'd be like Cravius and Latravius and Chandrika, and it's like you're not doing yourself any good, man. For the parents that are doing this shit, you're not doing your kids any good. Yo, Chandrika Williams was on a damn school pickup line, right, for the kids. And sometimes it could be a little stressful on there. You know, I got to do that sometimes. You don't get no reception, no signal, and it be that you be there for hours. It was Sharkeisha. I remember that one. That chick was crazy. Didn't she beat up some white girl or something? Man, she destroyed that white girl. Nah, I don't think it was a white girl. It was another black girl. But yeah, Sharkeisha. But no, Chandrika Williams, yo. She got cut in the school line, waiting for the kids. Yo, this chick pulled out a gun. She pulled out a gun and she crashed into like two cars because she had to flee the scene. She pulled a gun. How you pull a gun on school grounds? Crazy. And they talk about Karens. They got a byword for white women. Check this out. This is a byword. Karen is a white woman. I know that some people say, "Oh, it's racially ambiguous. It could just be anybody could be a Karen." No, no, no. This was specifically for white women that complained, right? You had the woman that complained for the lemonade stand for the black girl. You had the one that was gonna call the cops because you had a black guy with his dog. I forgot what it was in the park. I forgot what the hell happened with that one. And then you had the one that called him the barbecue. You know, there was a few Karens going around, right? And you know, but like I was saying, like yo, that shit happens to everybody. Little white kids get called on for lemonade stands. Look it up. Shit is not unique to black people, man. You're not oppressed. What if we get a name for black women? Yo, oh my god, like yo, Sandra Bland was a Karen. She was a, I mean, a Karen is not even that like aggressive. A Karen sometimes they'll play the victim. They'll get all scared and shit later. Yo, this shit is a Karen plus, right? I don't even know. You gotta have another name. You can't call them a Karen because a Karen is a white girl. I'm telling you, I want to start the Chandrika. They got Karen for white women. Let's do Chandrika for black women. What? They shouldn't get mad. They did it for white women. Why would they get mad, right? They did it for white women. But see, we can't do it for black women because then we're gonna get called racist. They're gonna get mad. They're gonna say that we're the victim. You know? And that's the hypocrisy that I want to point out, Dwayne Rose, is that there's certain things that y'all can do that white people can't do. White people can't cross state lines, bro. Yo, white person cross state lines? What? And then they lied and said that they brought a gun. William Crider, man. Yo, where you at, William Crider, man? I need to get you back on here, bro. Because we had a good talk before, but he was trying to tell me, he was trying to push a lie. That's one of the main lies that the liberal media is pushing is that Kyle Rittenhouse brought a gun across state lines. That's a fucking lie. That's one of the lies that they tell you. He didn't bring a gun across state lines. That's the lie. The gun was already in Kenosha. It was purchased by his friend who was 18 years old. Gun wasn't illegal. Stop lying. It's not illegal to cross state lines. Like, white people can't cross state lines, bro. If they were saying that to black people, well, black people can't cross state lines, though? Damn, black people can't cross state lines. They would say the same shit, bro. Like, come on, man. Hypocritical as fuck. Do we want to start using a Chandrika for the black women that pull out guns on school lines? Because she wasn't the only one. That was another incident that happened like the same month in North Carolina. Chandrika Williams was in Memphis. There was one in North Carolina. Same fucking story. She pulled out a gun on school grounds because I think somebody hit her or cut her or wasn't moving in the school pickup line. In Philadelphia, there was another Chandrika, if we want to use that, or what, fucking Karen Plus, a Keisha or whatever, Karenika. She pulled out a gun in a Chipotle because I forgot what it was. They wanted them to order it on the app or something. Something wasn't working. I forgot what the hell happened. Yo, this black woman pulled out a gun and said, "You better have my food." You better fucking have my food. What do we call that? That's not just a Karen. That's worse than a Karen. Look it up. Black woman in Chipotle pulls out gun. Like, stop being hypocritical, man. If we could call white women Karens, then we should be able to do that to black women. But no, they got a campaign, protect black women. The Say Their Name campaign. All that shit is just fuck, because all you're doing is saying black people's names. Like, this shit don't happen to white people. Like, come on. It's gaslighting. And then when we call you out for the gaslighting, oh, it's whataboutisms. Dwayne Rose, get out of here, man. Where you at, Dwayne Rose? You still at work, bro? That horrible movie they just made, Karen. They made a movie called Karen? Get the hell out of here. Oh, my God. Is it just white women? I bet you it's just white women that they're showing. You see? They're able to be racist, bro. Black people have the past to be racist. But any little thing against a black person. What was the one story where it was a white woman with her husband and she was like 3 months pregnant and they were coming out of some place and they accidentally bumped into a black girl and the mother was there and they started going crazy. Apologize, say I'm sorry. And they started calling him a white, oh, you white, get the hell out of here, white cracker or whatever. They started saying all this racist shit. And then they started saying, you guys are racist. They were the ones that brought up race, calling them white, whatever. And then they were saying, the young girl was like, y'all ignorant. I was like, yo, this is insane. All because they accidentally bumped into them and they wanted an apology. Like, that's a Karen right there. And these white people were just trying to get in the car. And they wouldn't let him in the car. The lady was trying to, like, stop them. She got behind the car as they were trying to back up. And as they were trying to back up, she's like, "Oh, yeah, hit me. Yeah, hit me." Yo, these white people got so fed up, they pulled out the guns on them. Yo, she shit in her pants. She turned into the victim right away. Oh, okay, damn. Like, Jesus Christ, man. People were defending the black people. You should see the comment section. It's not even like a divided house. It's like straight up everybody defending black people. Like, the black people pushed this shit on. They could have kept walking. So what? They bumped into you, man. Keep it moving. That's what you call a Karen right there. Fucking crazy. So many stories we could talk about, man. But I want to go back to Jussie Smollett, man, because he's back. He's back in court. Well, he's in court finally. Shouldn't that be some type of extra charge? That should be a crazy crime because you calling a fake crime in and throwing race into it because he knows. You see, why did he do that? Why did he do that? You see, Jussie Smollett knows that this is gonna get that because of the racial dynamics. Oh, these were MAGA people. They threw a rope on my neck. They threw bleach on me. The shit sounded like a straight up lie from the beginning. First of all, but why did he choose to do that? Because he knows that white on black shit gets everybody's attention. If he would have just said, "Oh, it was these black Nigerian guys. They threw bleach on me. They threw a rope on me, or whatever," it wouldn't got as much attention. Which is what really happened. He was paying these big muscle bound Nigerian guys who's probably popping him or whatever. I don't even know. To do this fake crime, this fake hate crime, fake oppression. And why did he choose MAGA? Right? He said that they had MAGA hats on and they called him Empire Faggot Nigga. Empire Friendly Neighbor Faggot Nigga. FN. Like it sounded so fake because what did these guys know that he was gonna be out there and they had the bleach and the rope ready? Like it sounded so fake. Like how would they have known that Jussie Smollett from Empire is gonna be walking at 2 a.m. in the freezing tundra to go get some Subway, and they were ready there with the rope and the bleach? Like it's such a lie from the beginning. It is crazy, bro. He was still wearing the rope on his neck, KOA. He took it up. He said he walked up. He could have just said that he took it upstairs in his hand. No, he literally said that he kept the rope on his neck and took it upstairs for evidence. Like, who does that? The cops said, "You want to take that off?" That's fucking hilarious, man. He's like, "I just wanted you to see it." Oh my God. Man, what bullshit. Man, but see, just like that Jasmine Barnes story where it was a little black girl that they were saying it was a white guy that killed. It was a white guy that killed him. Everybody fucking started paying attention to that. Nobody pays attention to Sequoia Turner. Nobody pays attention to Loyalty Allah, who was killed. Little girl that was killed in Virginia, I believe, or DC. What about Baby Sincere in Chicago? Little baby that got killed. See, I remember these names. These names stick to me. I remember David Dorn. These are sad stories of African Americans that died because of some riled up so-called protesters, rioters, man, looters. They killed David Dorn because he was trying to help his friend's business. They fucking shot him dead. Black man. How sad is that, man? Baby Sincere. Little baby, man. So cute. He was like 1 year old. A 1 year old, man. Smile like gold, bro. Like gold and everything. They fucking killed that little baby, man. Because they wilding out here in Chicago. Because of racism and shit. Yeah, David Dorn. That one got me, man. Nobody cared about him. Black Lives Matter didn't care about him. They didn't march for him. Fucking Secoria Turner though, man. That was the one that after Rayshard Brooks. Rayshard Brooks was that idiot that fell asleep on the Wendy's drive-thru. Fucking idiot. Fell asleep on the Wendy's drive-thru. He just got out of jail too. He was in the blood gang. Came out later. This cat fell asleep in the Wendy's drive-thru. The Wendy's call the cops. The cops come, tell him to pull over, and I forgot what they said. They gave him a chance to do something. I forgot. To go or leave. I don't know. I forgot what it was. And he parked up and he stayed there. And the cops came back and was like, "Yo, we told you to go or whatever. You got to get out of here." They start questioning the dude, asking him mad questions, giving him second chances like crazy, third chances, fourth chances, fifth chances. What is it? What does he do? He fucking decides to fight the cops, resist arrest, fight the cops, take the cops' stun gun, and shoot it at the cops. Once you do that, once you aim a stun gun, I don't care if it's a stun gun, you're done. You're done. They have the immunity and the authority to do that. You can hit a cop with a stun gun, stun him, and take his gun and shoot him. He's not going to take that chance because it's either his life or your life. That's what the immunity is there for. Otherwise, cops wouldn't want to be cops because then they would never have a reason to shoot. They would give you the benefit of the doubt, and if they get it wrong, then you might die. You know how many cops would die if they gave the criminals the benefit of the doubt and say, let me see if it's a fake gun. I'm going to wait. What if it's a real gun? They start blasting you. You know how many times that happened? Where they pulled out a gun, it takes a second. Then cops are not going to want to be cops. They want to take that immunity away. These are the same people that want to defund the police. Why do you think they want to do that? They want to destroy the police department. They want to destroy America, man. They want to turn the hood into bigger hoods, man. Take the cops out, make it into fucking the Thunderdome, Mad Max. Shit is crazy. Rayshard Brooks gets killed. What do they do in Atlanta? First of all, they burned the Wendy's down. They burned the Wendy's down. Why? Why you burn the Wendy's down? What did the Wendy's do? They called the cops on him? He fell asleep in the drive-thru, man. They burned the Wendy's down. Insane. Now, the dude gets the whole neighborhood now gets taken over by gangs. Taken over. Brooklyn Outlaw. Taken over by gangs. Bloods. Now, there was a little girl and her mother, and I believe her aunt was driving down, right? Secoria Turner was the little girl sitting in the back. They set up barricades in that same neighborhood where the Wendy's was at. Same neighborhood. This literally happened like right down the block or across the street from the Wendy's where Rayshard Brooks was killed. They fucking barricaded those streets down. They took over that block. That shit was like Mad Max, Thunderdome, pretty much. That's what they want. That's what the Democrats want. They took that shit over. Then they, I think what happened was Secoria Turner's mother drove around the barricades. Yeah, they want to empower criminals and destabilize the country, man. I believe it, man. But so they drove around the barricades, and because they had the nerve to drive around the barricades, these wild ass damn gang members, these cats was like 17 years old, part of the Blood Gang, and they said that they had some affiliation with Rayshard Brooks. These cats shot at the car, killing the little girl. That mother's cry during the press conference broke my heart, man. Broke my heart. Because all of that happened because of this fucking fake oppression, BLM shit, that we're being oppressed, and another black man, like, that guy had it coming, man. No tears for Rayshard Brooks, man. I could care less about somebody that doesn't value their own life. You know? Fuck that humanity shit for somebody that doesn't value their life. I don't give a fuck about your life. If you don't value your life to where you're just gonna fight cops and take their gun, take the stun gun and shoot it at them. Like, you don't value your life. Why should I care about someone that doesn't value their life? But yet you got fucking people going crazy over Rayshard Brooks. They did protests. They burned down the Wendy's. What did they do for Sequoia Turner? These hypocrites. And people want to say, oh, this is whataboutism. No, this is not whataboutism. This is gaslighting. You're gaslighting people to care for criminals. And then when we say, well, what about the kids? Well, that's whataboutism. What? Yo, Dwayne Rose, this whole video was for you, bro. You inspired this off of your dumbass comment from my last video, because you're mad that the majority of school shootings happen to be black people that do it. And I'm the one that's pushing a narrative and an agenda. Like, I'm pushing the reality and shit. I'm pushing the fucking reality of life and what's really going on in this world, because this world is fucking being overrun by a media that's just showing you one thing, a false narrative, gaslighting you. And now I want to show you what's really going on, and you say, oh, you're just like the liberals, you're just like the Democrats. You just have a bias in the narrative. Like, I'm sorry, man. That's retarded as hell. I gotta be out. I had to do this video just to shut that shit down. You might see that comment. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't come up. It looks like it got ghosted because maybe he put something on there. But you might see that comment by Dwayne Rose. Respond to that cat. Tell him how stupid he is. Dislike that comment. Like my comment, because he must have been signing into a bunch of his different accounts and gave his comment a bunch of likes. There's no way anybody saw that comment, I don't think. I mean, I don't know. But you know, maybe I'm crazy. I'm the crazy one because I'm posting the reality of what's going on. When people want to show you, oh, you know, look what happened to Tamir Rice. Uh-huh. Well, look what happened to Peyton Ham. Look what happened to Alexander King, Antonio Arce. It happens, man. It's not unique to black people. Oh, that's whataboutism. But you're gaslighting by just trying to say it's just unique to black people. That's why they're showing you that. When you, like I said before, when you hear a kid got shot with a toy gun by cops, the first guy that comes to your head is Tamir Rice. And you know that. You know I'm right. They want to make a big deal out of the cases that have a black person as the victim, especially if it's white on black. Like I mentioned, Trayvon Martin, Jasmine Barnes, all these cases, it's because of the racial dynamics behind it. That's why it goes national. That's why fucking Al Sharpton shows up. Jesse Jackson shows up. These are race hustlers. Every time you see them there, know that there's something bigger going on. This is a false narrative. They were trying to hide Trayvon Martin's damn ghetto-ass pictures with the middle fingers and the front teeth. They hid all that shit. They show you a baby picture of Trayvon. Trayvon Martin was 17, 5'11". They showed you a picture when he was like 12 years old, 13. Like, crazy. And yeah, Brooklyn Outlaw, man. We were talking about that Trayvon Martin thing where you said that the cops told George Zimmerman, don't follow him. That's a lie, bro. You could look up that's one of the common myths about that whole trial. No cop, he never spoke to any cop. He spoke to the 911 operator. And he said, I'm following him. And the 911 operator said, we don't need you to do that. Which is different from don't follow him. That's not a command. 911 operators can't give you a command. The 911 operator actually testified and said that. We don't give commands. We have to give it in a way where it's not ordering them. So, in that case, Trayvon Martin, I looked into that again. Trayvon Martin was the aggressor. Yeah, George Zimmerman was following him. He was the neighborhood watch guy. That's not a crime. Trayvon Martin should have took his ass home with his Skittles, but he decided to fight and initiate the violence, initiate the contact. And everybody turned him into the victim, showed you baby pictures and shit when he was a little kid. They hid all the ghetto ass shit. They hid all the fucking They hid all the chats. This guy, you know what he was doing with the Skittles and the iced tea? Do you know what that's used for? You know what happens in Sanford. You know what's big out here in Florida. What was going on during that time, 2012, 2013? They were doing that lean shit. There's a comment. You can look it up. I forgot the name that Trayvon Martin went by. He was doing lean, bro. That's what they used to put in them drinks. Jolly Ranchers, Skittles. Look that shit up. Trayvon Martin lean. Skittles. What do you think he was doing? There's a video of him in the 7-Eleven. They didn't want to show you that video. That shit is on YouTube right now, bro. He was acting weird as fuck in that 7-Eleven. Looking weird as zombied out, man. I'm telling you, bro. Something was up with him. They wanted you to focus on the half Mexican Zimmerman. Like, he wasn't even fully white, bro. Like, he's half white. That's good enough. Like, Jesus Christ, man. This world is crazy with the racial shit. Like, they want you to focus so much on when there's a racial dynamic. Like, how many times have you seen where it was a black guy that killed a white guy? Just recently in Philly. Temple University? Damn, what's the one? Yeah, Temple University in Philly. Yeah, Peruvian. Yeah, it was a Temple University, I believe. It was that white kid that got killed by a black person. They don't go crazy and make a big deal out of that. There was a little white kid that was riding his bicycle, and his father had some beef with the neighbor, who was a black guy. I don't even know what happened to this case. The black guy comes over and fucking shoots the little white kid on his bike. He was like 6 years old. He was like 6 years old, man. That's a black on white. If that would have been the races reversed, that they would have made a big deal out of that. But only reason why I'm showing you that is because you see that happens often. Black on white happens more often than white on black. We don't know that. White people don't be fucking with black people. White people don't be raping black women either. That's another thing that you rarely hear. It'd be the other way around. Black people be raping white women. Like, that shit is... Look at the racial dynamics of rape. That shit happens way more often. It happens like crazily. Yo, white men rarely rape black women. What do people do? But yeah, during slavery times, they used to rape him and all that. They're going to go back into some damn... Let's go back and forget all linear time, man. And just fuck all white people because of what they did in the past. It's like, can we talk about what's happening in 2021? But yeah, man, Trayvon Martin was not the innocent little angel they wanted to make him seem. They hid his stepmother. They hid her. They tried to bring his mother up from Miami and shit. She wasn't in his life. Nobody talks about what was going on there with the father and all of that stuff. That father was on some other shit too, man. Man, I looked into that case. I was like, wow, they hid so much. They made a front. They had to have the father and the mother together. That's why you always seen them together. They weren't together. There was a stepmother that spoke out later on, and that was his real mother. And she would have told you the truth about what started happening with that kid. Trayvon Martin started going down the wrong path. He was suspended from school during that time. Trayvon Martin's mother didn't know what the hell was going on with him. She couldn't tell you what was happening during that time. He was going down a dark-ass road, man. Look up the chats, man. They brought all that stuff out. He was talking about that codeine, that lean. What do you think he was doing with the Skittles and the Arizona iced tea, man? I'm telling you, he was throwing that lean in there. That's what he was chatting up with one of his boys. Where can I get that prescribed tryptolene or methamphetamine or whatever the fuck they call it? He wanted to get the prescription version. His friend was like, you could just use Robitussin. And Trayvon was like, nah, I need the prescription one. That's the official one. Trayvon knew what the fuck he was doing, man. You know they do that in Sanford, bro. Out here in Sanford, Florida. They love that shit up there. There's actually a rapper from Sanford that made a legal lean drink. He's a white rapper. He calls it legal lean. That's how popular that shit was up there. You can look this nigga up. I forget his name. He's a white boy rapper. That's what was going on with Trayvon, man. That's what was going on with him that night. and everybody turned it into a racial thing, like George Zimmerman was racist. You could hear no, there wasn't a recording, but I think the girl that Trayvon was talking to, she said she messed up that whole case. She had a damn attitude. She sounded stupid as hell too. But she said that Trayvon called him a cracker. He said this cracker's following me. This crack ass nigga's following me. Zimmerman didn't say nothing about race. Trayvon Martin's the one talking about race, cracker, and all that shit. And they made it all seem like, oh, George, like this is a racial. You got to see how they lied to everybody, bro. You got to see how they lied to everybody. That case was the first. That was one of the first ones where they lied to everybody, bro. Once you see Al Sharpton there, you know it's a fucking lie. Stay away from that shit. Al Sharpton also had a fake case where it was a hoax with that Huxley girl, Huxley or damn Brixley, I forget her name. You could look it up if you just Google Al Sharpton fake hoax. Man, he took this black girl and made up a fake hoax, just like Jussie Smollett, a fake racist story, where he said where some white guys supposedly raped this black girl and threw her in the garbage and threw shit on her and all this stuff, mad crap. And he set all this stuff up. It was fake. This girl went along with it until her lies started unraveling. And even when they found out that it was all bullshit, nobody raped this girl. Like I said, white guys don't be raping black girls, man. That shit is like the one of the most rarest things that you hear about. um, they said it was like two white guys. I forgot it was upstate New York. I forgot where the fuck it was. And they found out that that shit was a lie. The cops dropped that whole shit. He never got charged for nothing. That should have been charged for like some fake shit, right? Calling a fake crime. The dude now all of a sudden he got a show on MSNBC. That's what I'm telling you. Stay away from MSNBC. MSNBC is the worst. MSNBC, the Young Turks, and then CNN is probably third worst. MSNBC is one of the worst. If Al Sharpton could get a show on MSNBC, there's a problem. There's a problem with this world. But even till years after that hoax was found out, because it didn't go far at all. Black people were still believing that it was true, just like they still believe to this day that O.J. Simpson's not guilty. It's like be like 50% of black people believe O.J. Simpson's still not guilty. I can't believe that. That's why they be believing that Bill Cosby's not guilty. Like, there's so much evidence against Bill Cosby, man. So much. He got off on a technicality because the cops said they wouldn't try him on something that they tried him on, and then they released him. That didn't mean that he didn't fucking drug nobody and rape them. There's so many stories that people were telling about how they heard that before. Joe Rogan was talking to somebody that said that Bill Cosby was hitting on his girl. But, yo, even after, years after they found out that Tiana Bruxley, I think her name was, Brixley, that Al Sharpton was trying to push as a victim, fake victim of rape and racism, those guys were getting harassed, and one of the guys ended up committing suicide, one of the white guys, behind all of that, because they were getting harassed for the rest of their life, bro. People thought that shit was real, even after everything got dropped. Because what do people yo, everything is like, oh, it was the cops probably dropped it because they're racist too. On that bullshit. Like, yo, I'm out, man. This is like I covered a lot of topics on here. I'm gonna do videos that, everything I spoke about, not everything, but some of the things I spoke about, I'm gonna throw this shit in one of my videos, man. Talking about Jasmine Barnes, that fake racist case by Sean King and shit. Sean King's dumbass, man. There was a 16-year-old kid named Kevin Trayvon Williams who followed a white guy into a gated community, steal his car, and ended up murdering him. Guy was autistic. They have cops watch these places for a reason. They know he's guilty. They just don't care. Wow, that's crazy. Bro, bro, there was so many, man. There's so many stories, man. Forget it. I could go on. They know he's guilty. I was gonna say, man. I remember I mean, African Americans be targeting people based on race, man. They always say, I had this one dude in the comments saying, black people are the only ones that get targeted based on their race. Like, are you insane? You know how many Asian people get targeted based on their race because they know Asian people, their demeanor is real, gentle. They don't act tough. Like African Americans need to have that tough exterior. Like, they always want to act like they're tough and shit all the goddamn fucking time. Asians don't be like that. And what do African Americans do? They take advantage of that. They see that. I'm telling you, I grew up in the hood. I see this shit happen all the time, man. I grew up in a very mixed hood. They target white people too, bro. You couldn't come into projects as a white boy that didn't know nobody, or playing basketball as some white boy and shit in the hood. They pick on you particularly because of your race, bro. They make it seem like African Americans ain't racist. We can't be racist, like that dumb shit. They used to fucking target the Chinese guy in the neighborhood, bro. The Chinese delivery guy. The Chinese store stopped making deliveries in the neighborhood because they used to get fake orders, and they get fucking called up into a little neighborhood, a courtyard, and they get robbed. They constantly got robbed, bro. They stopped doing deliveries in my neighborhood because of that. Like, I'll never forget that, bro. And they used to pick on the guy. They stole his bike, stole the food and money, everything. They picked on him because he's an Asian guy, bro. They don't be doing that to black delivery drivers. They fucking show him all the respect if he's black. That shit's fucked up, man. But that shit is the truth, man. I know people don't want to hear it, but I'm gonna say it, man. I don't care what people think. I don't care if I lose subscribers or friends and all this shit. I don't give a fuck, man. I'm speaking the truth. I'm not gonna fucking hold my tongue or handle black people with gloves and shit or Hispanic people and shit who do a lot of murders and shit too up in NYC. Look at the numbers. But it's a bigger issue in the black community, man. I gotta be straight up. And you can see it by just looking at the 2021 shootings, that school shootings that I posted in the video. I posted all the shootings that you don't know, that you haven't heard, because you already heard about Oxford. I already spoke about that in my past video. So I didn't put that in this one because you already know about that. So what did I put in the video that I did this morning? I put everything else pretty much. And what did you see in particular? About 80%, 70% African Americans. There was a few Hispanics in there. And somebody wrote a damn comment. He was all mad and shit and my shit. And that's why I went live, for dumbass Dwayne Rose, bro. I need you to come live with me, Dwayne Rose. Stop talking shit in my comment section. You've been doing it for a while. And then you want to edit your comment and take your words back and shit. I see you, bro. But I'm out of here, man. Peace and love. Thank y'all for joining.